Yeah. I feel like it's been that way for a couple of years now. But let's see. We'll see when people start filing in. I got my like iPad open here so I can like check the screens actually running. Coffee time with Jeff. The other thing is my chat pop-out window somehow has disappeared. I don't know where the hell that went, but we'll figure it out. I had been using that to like. Okay, we're gonna look it up. OBS chat pop out. I want to say I'm on like barely any delay. So if you or if I say something insane, we're cooked. We need like fastest hand in the West, bro. Yeah, how to? There should be something to like pop out chat, and I don't know where it went, bruh. Because YouTube got rid of like the ability to do it. Hold up. Yeah, pop out. There's literally a built-in like. How did you see your Twitch chat in OBS Studio? Here we go. Docs under docs chat. Yeah, I'm fucking brain damaged. Of course it is. There we go. Again, didn't we fix that last night? Yeah, we did, James. But we are, we are. Are we back? No, I have to start the screen capture again. I might actually just have brain damage. This is also painful. Chat. OBS Studio chat. Okay. Great. We put everyone. I literally spent like half an hour setting this up yesterday. I have brain damage. All right. Apparently, every time I start a stream, we're gonna have to do this crap. So thanks for staying with me. He returns. Yeah, shut up, Plane Enjoyer. Hold up, I gotta like post this on like Twitter and shit that I'm back. Let's see, 130, 150, 160, 160. Top. Change top here, 10, 40, and then crop left, 10, 30. Okay, cool. Great. That seems, well, it doesn't seem horrible, and like that's kind of the best I'm gonna ask for. All right, cool. Now I just gotta like push it on Twitter and Discord and shit. Oh. Sorry, chat. I am mentally handicapped, as you can tell. It takes me a while to get this stuff running. YouTube Studio, content, live, get shareable link, post it to my Twitter. Post it on the Discord, Jeff announcements. And ping, and I'm too lazy to log into my... Cool. I think we're good. What's up, Professor Havix? All right. So for those of you who I don't think I've introduced Bima before, but Bima is one of my friends from college. We suffered through the exact same horrible sort of university on different ends of the spectrum. I was physics, he was biology, right? So we know each other through sort of our mutual suffering. But yeah, he'll be our guest for today. He's got a YouTube channel as well. You can check him out sort of in the description. I think I have it pinned in the description. But, otherwise it's going to be a chill little stream. We won't get into too much crazy stuff. I'm not going to tell you who controls the government and stuff like that. But, we'll just start. I was going to say, there's something that, like, one of the things that's happened sort of, like, over the last, like, maybe month is, like, between, the Goonerol, right, and Biabadoobies crashing out, Is being cringe like the worst thing possible on the internet? I remember like Critical saying this maybe like 2, 3 years ago, but I'm starting to believe that like more so than anything else, like being cringe is a death sentence on the internet. You know, and in real life, right? Like if you're cringe on the internet, people find you. They like hulk you down in like the middle of the street, and they're like, "Wow, you're cringe," and then like, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. To that end, like, you know, did the Goon Lord have to do it? Like, you know, open question, discuss. I say that like there's a panel. It's just you, Bimo. What do you think? Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of. Uh huh. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, they're not even like people who follow her normally. It's like people, you know, they like brigade over, and it's like because it's just funny, right? It's like once you like play into like, you know, the shit posting, it becomes funny for people to mess with you. Um, I mean, what do you do at that point, right? Do you just let it sort of blow over, or like, is there a way that like you could like sort of actively, you know, preempt it? Like, what should Yabba Dabba do right now to save, you know, save whatever aura she has to save face? Yeah, yeah, Yabba Dabba Doo and Youngboy Fortnite stream. I think that would bring it back. But like, I guess that's really it, right? The only way to win is to like play into the meme, right? Like you have to play into people clowning you. Yeah. Oh, hold up. I don't have. I'm not actually capturing your audio, bro. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Garbage ass stream. Dog water stream. Oh my god. Thank you to whoever captured that. Like, yeah, Jeff's schizophrenic. He's just talking to himself. This is no different than like, you know, a normal sort of afternoon with Jeff. Oh my god. Thank you. Who's your name? What's your name? We cannot hear, bro. Who said it first? Clanka? I think Clanka said it first. Type ish. You're a great man, Clanka.
Type-ish,
Uh,
type-ish.
all right, there we go. There we go. Say something.
Yo.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, chat. This is Bima, one of my friends. For those of you who are just joining, he does exist. I haven't made him up. He's not an AI agent. You know, I can't afford an AI agent at this point. I'm too stupid to program my own. I've been talking to myself for the last like 10 minutes, but you know, trust that he's here. He's here now. Thank you to everybody who's said that, right? So thank you to Klanka, Muhammad, Bati, Give Me Your Muffins, James Leishman, Redstoner Shadow. Yeah. Uh, Let me know if you guys can hear him now. Anyways, we were talking about so-called aura debt, right? And like being cringe on the internet. I think aura debt's probably like the new way of like, you know, describe being cringe. But like, you know, once you lose your aura, once you like become cringe, right? It's like it's so crazy how like one thing you do can just like ruin everything you've worked for, you know? Like Yabba Dabba Doo, you know, Dookie Dookie. Um, Really promising career. I mean, like I didn't really listen to her, but like as presumably, you know, and like now it's just like her entire chat section is people just like hate brigading, and like you know, I'm not saying that like there's a, you know, people should or shouldn't. I think it's funny, but like at the same time, like what is how does she come back, right? How does she come back from this? And we were saying that like she should do a Fortnite stream with NBA YoungBoy. That'll save her career. But what do I know? I like don't even upload to my own YouTube channel. So,
Rip.
rip. Uh, what? What?
I feel like Auradet, like Auradet though, it's not even more than just cringe. You know, you can go into Auradet just like missing a handshake, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people pick up on
just
anything,
stuff like
like the
that.
way you walk. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you
Got a
think
little too
is?
much curvature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a little too much like
It's
swag in your legs. Yeah, you shouldn't be bending all that much. But what do you think is like a good example of like you know what's like the pettiest stuff like pettiest thing somebody's like lost aura over, right? You know, what do you think is like sort
uh,
of the most like meaningless thing somebody's lost aura and like fans over?
losing fans over.
Or like yeah, just aura. I don't know. Like, we're sort of defining them similarly, but like, what's like the what's the saddest thing rather? You know, like the thing that like seems to be the least consequential and yet like has the largest impact, right? Who do we feel that is?
I don't
Chat,
even
feel free to
know.
chime in. Artists who can storytell versus artists who cannot. Artists, YouTubers who upload to their channel versus YouTubers who don't. Oops.
Real.
Yeah, yeah. They said you're too loud. All right, we're adjusting. We're adjusting. Live adjustments, chat. Live adjustments. Here in the mixing booth with me. This confident cringe give aura though. Give me your muffin's ass. What do you mean by confident cringe? Like if you're just sort of like like you know, saw what was it, stoic loner type stuff. I think so. I feel like you could get aura from that. I mean, actually, Bima, why don't you impose here? Because you made a whole video about aura, right? Everyone should go check that out. It's in the description.
No.
Can you be? How feasible is aura farming when you're using the sort of the silent stoic build?
Yeah, you're going silent stoic. See, I was thinking when I heard that, I was thinking like theater kid build. But if we're going like not
Oh,
theater
what kind of
kid
aura can you
archetype,
foam
we're
there,
going
man?
like
Yeah.
no, yeah, but it's confident aura. They themselves think it's like aura. It's not like externally
I feel like
trying to
aura,
be
right,
like an
is
aura
like
farmer.
something that someone else perceives. It has to be. It's only defined in the context of like what other people see.
In that sense, if it's like aura farming nonchalant dreadhead, like,
Yeah. I
yeah, I
feel.
don't know. I think it's. I feel like it can be cringe, but like at the same time, there's like levels to it, you know.
Yeah. So if you're like nonchalant, I guess is the differentiator between like, it can't just be like silent. You have to be like nonchalant. You have to interact a little bit so people get a sense of like, sense of your aura. They got to perceive it.
Yeah,
If
people
you're,
gotta know you exist.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be like a loner. I feel like if you're completely sort of removed from society, there's no way of there's no
Bro,
way of aura farming.
I'm a popular loner, man. I was a popular loner. I was a popular loner back in high school.
Do you know anyone who's like that?
I
Rather,
feel
do
like a
we
lot
know
of
anyone
people are
who's
like
like that?
that. I don't think we know anybody like that, but I feel like a lot of people are like that.
Are there any like examples of like celebrities or public figures that are like that?
100%. I feel like I've seen interviews of like people saying that for sure. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Who would it be? Would it be like
I
what
feel like Michael B.
category?
Jordan says something. I don't know.
Michael B.
I don't know.
Jordan?
I don't know if he said
That's
something
different though.
about being
He's like
popular.
nonchalant, right? Like he's also like the goat, right? Like far be it for me, a broke master's student to criticize a Michael Jordan, right? But who knows? It's YouTube videos. Who needs YouTube videos when you can just stay broke? Yeah. Or is the happiness shown from your own enjoyment of life? Give me your muffin says. I can see that, but at the same time, like, I feel like aura it cannot be defined as like what you as the person who's trying to exude the aura, like, like aura has to be defined as like somebody else's impression of you. You know what I mean? Like, it only exists, you only have aura if other people perceive you to have aura. It's like purely
No, I know
a
what you're
social
saying.
contract. Yeah.
It's like that Michael Jackson aura, getting people to faint in real life, like that type of aura.
Yeah, if we're talking about aura, I mean, Michael Jackson is like, God, occasionally I still see stuff about him, or like I see something come across my feed on like Instagram, and it's just like some concert of his, and I think the most recent one I saw was the Super Bowl, right, where like he was a bigger deal than the Super Bowl, and like he started his show and then just stood there for 2 minutes like staring at people, and like people were fainting
And they're
and,
fainting.
like, screaming. Yeah. Talk about like that is like a generational run that will never be matched. I mean, like, is there a condition in which a modern celebrity can have the same sort of wide appeal that Michael Jackson did, right? Like, I feel like it's too split up now, right? You have too many people on different like platforms, right? You have like the Spotify people, you have like the YouTube Music Young Boy fans, you got like your Apple Music people, right?
What is it now? People argue it's probably like Taylor Swift or Drake now. I don't know.
Yeah, or Kendrick, right? Kendrick. Well, talk about Kendrick,
of
man.
course.
That's another thing, right? At what point does like this is why I think aura has to be something that's defined externally, because like Kendrick Kendrick was like, he was really cool for a while. I mean, like, our fucking like back in like Mad City, right? Like going all the way back there to like even when the beef first started, right? When like rap people were in on it, and he was dissing Drake. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I listen to a lot of rap, so I guess I'm in those circles. And then it like blows up to the Super Bowl, and you have like wine moms, talking about it and like giving their own social critiques on his performance, and it's like that has to be aura loss, right? Like he went from like sort of an underground, not underground, but he was like in the know, people who knew, like those who know, right? But now it's sort of like it's hard to take him seriously because like so many people are just like bandwagoning and jumping on it. Um, Nico says Aura is reading all of Griffiths and doing the problems one by one. That's a suicide speed run, Nico. February 26th. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Bima? What do you think about? Yeah. What happened to Kendrick? What happened to his aura?
I feel like, at least in recent times in the last decade, lyrical rap in general kind of lost aura. I don't know. That's my vibe.
Yeah. What's
I feel like
mhm. Go ahead.
I feel like he like originally attracted people who unironically like listen to lyrical rap, but now it's almost ironic, like
Yeah.
caricature the poetic like
Oh, slam
poetics
poetry.
behind it. You know,
Yeah.
kind of like I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's
People
tough.
are overanalyzing so much, like they're like high school English teachers trying to overanalyze every little thing. It's like, what's going on? Like, let's analyze that. Like,
I
I
feel
think
like
that dichotomy like, was also in the Super Bowl too, like you were saying.
yeah. I feel like there is like I mean Kendrick there are like if you break down his verses apparently like he does have a lot of like wordplay and like there's something with like the lyrical structure that like I don't know he puts a lot of thought into his songs.
I think he used like
But
iambic pentameter and shit, like in some older
yeah.
stuff.
I mean he's got all of these like crazy rhyme schemes. Yeah, exactly. So I think like there's definitely stuff to read into. It's just like maybe it's when people who like aren't in the community start like intruding in on the community, right? You have your like I don't know, like someone who's never listened to rap a day in their life, right? And whose idea of fun is like doing slam poetry at like what are
Mm.
they called? Where are those like bars or like like pubs, whatever? They're like hidden inside like behind speakeasies, right? And they have a septum piercing, right? Like people like that, and then they start like dissecting like Kendrick. I feel like that's where the aura deficit comes from. Um, I don't know, right? It's like clearly he got his message across. Wanted to diss Drake. Now the entire like country's calling him a pedo, but like at what cost, right? He's lost his aura. Hey, do you think it was a worthwhile trade?
I don't know because I feel like the blow on the other side's kind of also. I don't know if there was aura loss, but there was definitely like credibility loss or like
Are people taking it seriously? I guess like is the average
I don't
person
know.
taking the Drake pedo claims like seriously, or are they just clowning him in the same way that like people are clowning Yabba Dabba Dookie?
See, that's the thing. I don't even know how we can like ascertain that because like if you look at comment sections, obviously you're gonna see like criticisms and stuff. But, like, how do we know the actual public opinion?
That's true. Yeah, I think that. Well, I mean, like, does it matter what the average public opinion is, right? Like, let's say average across like all Americans, let's say who've heard of Kendrick. Does it matter what that is, or does it matter who the public opinion in like the internet circles that we see, right? Because like the average person isn't really going to do anything about it, and like to be honest, like their opinion won't impact like Drake at all, right? He will never see their opinion, but he will. Drake will see like opinions circulating online, right? So is that like what's important? Like I don't know. I don't know. Nako, you gotta stop name dropping physics textbooks. I'm trying to spend my like weekend doing something less productive. I got my piece set for next week. It's 4 pages, of just plain quantum mechanics hell. So please don't remind me. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted, Bima. Yeah, like is it worth right? Under what circumstances is it worth sacrificing aura, or what is something that you could sacrifice aura for, and like have it be a respectable trade?
I mean, maybe pride.
Pride? I mean, in the public opinion, though, right? Like, is it ever acceptable to like lose aura? Is there a circumstance in which like that is something that's like an acceptable sacrifice in order to gain something else, right? This is a very open-ended question. I don't have a good answer.
I don't have a good answer either. I feel like
Mhm.
there's definitely been cases in the past of people sacrificing aura. I just gotta think about it.
Yeah. Jeff, can you teach us about physics, please? No. People who like spam my comments with physics, I love you all, but like please understand that like I only do physics during the week. The second it's the weekend, right? Like anyway, that's a complete lie. I spend like about half of my weekend in the lab doing work. But like my one free day off, which is Saturday, I want absolutely nothing to think about physics, right? I I, I I spend my week solving equations and doing whatever, right? And just like cracking my head open. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I made a joke in one of my old videos, but you can usually tell which desk I've worked at in the lab by the amount of hair that's fallen out, like, under the, like, desk. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. My hair's so long now that it's, like, it's genuinely keeping all the heat from, like, thinking in, and I overheat. I'm, like, thermal throttling trying to do my physics, so, no physics. No physics in the stream today. Um, a good example of sacrificing aura is Zoolander. He gained it back though. Was Zoolander? That was
That
the
was the Ben Stiller movie.
yeah, that was the Ben Stiller movie. I don't remember Zoolander like the plot very well. I just remember seeing the trailers for two. Um,
I don't even remember the plot really well. I do remember seeing all of like the edits of him walking though.
yeah. Oh, give me your
The
muffin says
segments.
maybe privacy. I think that's very fair. I think that people won't understand it immediately, but most people can come around to like the idea of sacrificing your public life um, for privacy. Though I don't think that's a way that you can go, right? Like, once you become a public figure, is it ever possible to like become private again? I don't know, Beam. What do you think?
Without criticism, I feel like you're gonna get criticism.
Oh, for sure. But like, is it even
Yeah.
possible? Like, all things, everything else sort of neglected. Is it possible to like, once you're like, let's say you go from TikTok famous, right? You do your little renegade, I don't know, whatever, and then like
Mm.
you want to just live a normal life. Let's say you did it in high school, now you want to have a normal college experience, right? Like, is it ever possible to like go back? And like, what's the rough timeline? Because I think like, within a year, people still recognize you, off of like your whatever TikTok, but like, give it another like 5, or do you have to wait 10 years? Like, at what point do people just like leave you alone, low key? I don't know. This is something I've asked myself a lot because it's like, maybe I thought about like going public, but at the same time, like I don't think I'd ever be able to come back in like a reasonable time frame. So I want to know your thoughts.
I was thinking like famous child actors.
Oh yeah, I mean, but they all
Then
go in the shitter, right? Like, I feel like they don't have a
I was
conception
thinking
of
like the
wanting
Home Alone
privacy.
dude, but
Oh, who's that girl from?
yeah, they
Oh, what's her name? Sorry, go ahead with what you're thinking. I gotta find this person.
a
Uh,
show or a movie.
Good Luck Charlie, that's her name.
Mm.
Bridget Mendler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, she's like now like a fairly successful like I forget what she's up to, but like she got some sort of degree from like MIT's Media Lab. And like that's not like a particularly easy thing to
Mm.
do. And she was like a Disney actress. At MIT and Harvard. What does that mean? Like, okay, where is let's see, education. Like she's done quite a lot afterwards. Personal life. This isn't helpful at all. Why can't I just find? I think I can actually find her LinkedIn. To be quite honest with you, hold on. Let's dig it up. 'Cause it was pretty impressive. I think she's the only
Like
child actress I know that's like not gone into like the shitter.
one of one, one of one LinkedIn.
Yeah. Did I find it? Bridget Mendler. Here we
Oh,
go.
like do you
Yeah. Go ahead.
uh Harry Potter aged actors as child actors? Emma
Mm.
Watson.
A lot of them stay in acting though. I think Bridget was interesting because she's now like, what? She's got like the CEO of some sort of like space startup. And she had a. Did she have a JD from Harvard Law? I don't remember exactly. Um, Pretty wild. That's pretty impressive. Like that's how you monopolize or like you make good use of your like childhood fame, right? Like that's sustainable. Being an actor isn't. Building a
Yeah,
business,
I
right?
feel like a lot of childhood
Hmm.
stars just become like degenerates. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so no, she does have a JD from Harvard Law. That's crazy. Absolutely insane.
You got a
Wow. And
stacked resume.
shout out child actors. Like, yeah, but I mean, she is like one in like what? Out of every child actor like ever, I think she's the only one I've ever heard of like doing something that's either not acting or like crashing out and doing fentanyl on the streets of LA. Like, I don't know. We're cooked. We're good.
We're cooked.
Jeff, do you have a cat? If so, that's Max Aura. I do. I do have a cat. It's not with me here. It's at my parents' house. Cat absolutely hates me. With how fast the internet goes these days, maybe it's possible to go back after a few years or just move to Kazakhstan. I don't know. I feel like if people know that you want to become a private person, they like actively dig into it. You know what I mean? Like, hmm. What do you think?
Gotta try to fall off without like being open about falling off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to like fall off. You can't make
You
an
just gotta like
announcement.
not take any roles. You just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. And then like the only people covering you are like tabloids or something, and then like no one cares what the tabloids have to say. Um, I don't know. I feel like that's probably the
yeah.
only mechanism by which you can become a private figure again. Uh, yeah, I think you just have to slowly,
Yeah.
like very very slowly, walk it back. It's a good point. I don't know. So what else is on the chopping block today? Ah, yeah, Bima, you had something where, in theory, if we traveled back in time, would be useful at all. Since you wrote that on our doc, why don't you start us off there? What do you think?
Okay, so like this was there's the first like part that I want to ask that's like contingent on us bringing
Mm-hmm.
something or not bringing something. If we pose that question, are we allowed to bring like one item
Mm.
in current times, like a solar powered like calculator or something like that, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. That's one of those. This is just like setting up the plot for an isekai, right? I got isekai back to
yeah,
like
literally
medieval
reincarnated.
England. Yeah, but I brought a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier with me. Yeah, I think it's difficult, right? Because like all of the, I guess like if we're talking about isekai, right, that whole genre, it always presupposes that you have some sort of like internet connection, or there's like some supporting
Or like
architecture.
battery, like some
Yeah,
energy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's something that you could bring back that will have a significant impact that won't sort of need, that won't
Should
need a
bring the
support.
wheel back way earlier.
The wheel.
Or we should introduce. We should bring the wheel
But I
even
mean, like,
earlier.
will the Homo erectus be capable of understanding the significance of the wheel, or will he just like beat you over the head with a rock because you brought a
See, that's the
wheel
thing.
instead of an AK?
I feel like they'd beat you over the head if you said like the Earth is not the center of the universe before like fucking 1500.
That's
So
true. Yeah, that's a hard one. I
you,
mean, like,
I feel like if you wanted to be like Copernicus and like change
yeah,
like thoughts on like geocentrism, I feel like you'd just be called a heretic.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, like,
Just
if
like, just
yeah,
like, yeah.
if you really wanted to
It's
like
gotta be like
benefit
strategy.
humanity, uh-huh. There is some strategy to this. If you really wanted to benefit humanity, I don't know what you take. But if you would just wanted to like leave a mark, I'd say just bring a nuclear bomb. Bring one nuclear bomb back, and then like have a king who like get into an argument with a king and just
Mm.
like set it off in his capital. Like level
Yeah,
an
yeah.
entire city in an instant, and people like treat you like a god for the rest of your days. I mean, you'll probably still die of dysentery by age like 35, but like
Mm.
those 35 years
Loki, I
are
was thinking
insane.
like,
Hmm.
I was Loki thinking like penicillin, but
Mm.
if we gave antibiotics away earlier, I can't even imagine how bad the resistance would be now.
That's true, but there's also no way to manufacture it, right? And there's no way to like look at penicillin and then like
Yeah, you just
reverse
have to like
engineer
you just have
it.
to like grow the fungi, and there's no
Oh
way to
yeah, that's
purify
right, that's
it.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you come back with the knowledge of how to grow the penicillin, I feel like that could be
So you just need
how.
to somehow like
Yeah.
make the equipment to like
Yeah. How do you
purify
make
the actual
sterile equipment?
penicillin from the.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Hmm.
So then you have
Right.
to come back with like I feel like maybe intellectual property is like just the best thing.
Low key, yeah, because I feel like any sort of technical equipment or any sort of object, any product You know, in order to be like, there's very few things that can be reverse engineered that are
Mm.
like sort of worthwhile to bring back. I mean, you could bring like a comb or like a knife or something, but like even like modern knives are like manufactured out of like stainless steel and stuff, and like that's a manufacturing technique that like medieval people wouldn't have access to. So
Okay, here's something.
uh,
Out of everything you've learned in physics so far, what do you think you could take from our modern understanding and give to people way back in the past that you think would change where we are nowadays
atomic
if we had
physics.
learned earlier?
You just start with atomic physics. If you tell people what atoms are, and then like you do like experiments with light, right? If you can like initiate the start of like quantum physics, like 100 years earlier, that would be great. That would be like really impactful. Because I think a lot of the framework was there. I mean, I don't. A lot of the problem is like a lot of it relies on math being developed, but like just getting people
Mm.
thinking about the idea that like, especially like the idea that things are made of atoms, you bring that back like 1200s, and then if you can like, I don't know what a good way to prove things are made of atoms. You usually need some sort of radioactive source in order to do that, but definitely light. You can prove that light acts really weird. Like double slit experiment
Mm.
where like light
Oh yeah, that's
behaves
true.
both like particle and a wave. But like then you need a single photon source. I feel like you could probably push physics ahead maybe conceivably like 200 years if you weren't bringing back equipment with you, if you just brought knowledge. If you brought back equipment with you, I mean, like, God knows, like, you could, honestly, if you went back to, like, ancient Greek and then gave them numbers, like, we would be, like, flying
Mm.
cars and, like, I don't know, flying whatever is these
Would be
days.
interplanetary. Would be.
Yeah, we would have conquered the galaxy. I mean, the Greeks were doing like all of the proofs that you've heard, Pythagorean theorem, whatever, like all of that stuff. They were doing it without numbers. They just like measured stuff, and they were like, oh, but they didn't have a number to associate with the measurement. They were just like measurement. This
Yeah,
measurement
it's like that.
is
It's like
yeah.
that one dude who like,
Uh-huh.
he like what was it? I forgot his name. Oh my god, he's the guy who like I think had a theory on how big the sun was at a time. And he like used the
Oh yeah.
position of the sun on the solstice in a well between
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah,
cities
yeah.
and like measured the distance between the two cities.
Dude's crazy. And it's all measurements. He has no numbers to go off of at all. He's just
Yeah,
like
like what do
measurements.
you do? Like walk between two cities and like measure like how many
Or he
cities
looks at one of
was.
those like crappy maps they had back then that still had like
Oh my
dragons and
god.
like random crap on it. Like, if you gave them numbers, they'd be unstoppable. Give them calculus, man. Like,
Oh god. Yeah, you give him calculus.
yeah,
I don't even know
yeah.
where we are now.
It's hard to say. It's really like incredible how slow like progress. I feel like, in our understanding of the world is like an exponential thing. You start with like nothing. It's
Mhm.
very hard to start from nothing, right? It's very hard to go from like cracking rocks together and like beating up saber-toothed tigers to like coming up with the idea of numbers, right? Or like even the idea of like measurement. And then like so it's very easy to see why progress was slow. But like now, I feel like we really do have the capacity to just like take off, especially with like AI and stuff. Handling a lot of
Yeah.
like busy work. But I don't know.
Yeah, people back then too were like
Yeah.
they weren't hyper specialized. They were doing like everything.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I think it was a little bit. I don't know if it's like that's another thing we wanted to talk about, right? It's like, was it actually easier to be like a polymath back then? Was it actually easier to be like a Renaissance man who was competent in everything? I mean, people like say like, oh, it was because it was easier. These fields weren't as hard. It's like, yeah, they weren't, but there also weren't like good ways of like teaching it. I mean, can you imagine learning calculus, from somebody who saw calculus for the first time at like age 60, right? Like it'd be horrible. You just like trying to explain what a derivative is, like these infinitesimal quantities, like none of it's particularly intuitive. It's just that like over, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years, people have come up with like decent explanations for stuff, and like we've got like well established sort of ways of teaching it that are known to be effective. So I think being a Renaissance man back then was just like they were just really exceptional people, and I don't know. I feel like people knock it occasionally. But sorry, you said something about this, Beeman. I just like completely went off on a tangent. But what did you say? I'm tweaking.
All I said was that people back then were
Yeah.
not like specialized on something like people are nowadays.
Yeah. I
I
do
mean, that's
think.
also
Uh huh. Yeah. Go ahead.
we just know way more nowadays though to be able to spend your entire life in like particle physics versus
That's true.
doing
Yeah.
physics, music,
I think
theology.
you do have to like dig yourself in more. Like I feel like now that there's like so much like backing everything, right? There's so much like framework, there's so much like math, so much formalism for all these fields. It does take a longer time to get up to the point where you are an expert, and the path is clearer. I'll definitely
Loki,
say
that's true. What did
that.
these dudes? What did these dudes even do? They didn't even have. They didn't have to like get any accredited exams or anything, right? They just woke up one day and
Yeah, yeah.
just like
Just start
knowledgeable
cooking.
in the subject, like credible, like
Yeah, I mean they had like if we're talking about Renaissance men, right? They had like whatever like families behind them, like the Medici's or something. And they just gave them money to like think. That's pretty sick. I don't know. I wonder that environment, certainly did produce like quite a lot of like very exceptional people. But like, could you do that today? Could you just have like have someone pay your salary and just like sit there and think? I guess that's kind of what grad
creative
students
directors.
are. Oh yeah, hell no, product managers. Like, yeah, too many people abusing the system. Um, Mikov says, I think if you were hyper specialized back then, you'd also been more respected and highly reliable. That's true, but like I don't know how much depth there was to a lot of disciplines back in the day, right? Like, let's say for an engineer, right? Like, how do you, you know, to the extent of like civil engineer, someone who builds like bridges and whatever.
Civil engineer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I don't know. They didn't have aerospace engineers back in like Florence in like 16 whatever. Um,
In no electrical.
yeah, I know. Electrical. But it's like, what do you? How long would it take you? You do like a 1 year apprenticeship, maybe 2 years, right? And then you figure out that like you need to build arches. You need to build like, you put like post and lintel, whatever. You put something like spanning two like posts. I don't know how
Stress
much.
test.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the stress test would purely be intuition, right? You would just like train under some dude. Um, I think it was much easier to become an expert in a way because like there was so little like they didn't have like Newtonian mechanics. They didn't understand like forces and stuff, and so it was just like some dude like pointing to some younger dude like, hey, don't like put I don't know, don't let an elephant walk over the wooden bridge. I don't know. I'm kind of
Mm.
yapping, but something like that. But
I
yeah.
feel like people at that time they'd specialize. Like if they did specialize in something, it wouldn't be something that's like theory of the mind. It'd be more like just
Mhm.
art, like painting or sculpting.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like there were a lot of artists, but I mean, like then again, like engineers are hardly ever remembered, right? There's very little like written about even like modern engineers, um, or like technical like jobs. Like the people who leave an impact, historical impact,
Got no
tend to be
aura.
the
They got no
artists and
aura.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like there's just like private people. They don't make public facing like things. Who knows? Who knows? Technically specific jobs weren't even invented yet, so there's just one guy just learning everything. Yeah, that's kind of like my impression. I mean, you did have like
Yeah.
apprenticeships, and like you would just go work under some dude for a while. But yeah, that makes sense. Bar for expertise was lower. Give me your muffin says, but most people needed to farm or something anyways. Why think when you're a bad crop away from starving? That's true. That's true. Um, why was okay? This is like horrible history stuff. Like, I honestly I learned this in middle school. Like, why did the Renaissance actually happen? Right? Like, why was there something like in farming or like something externally that just like freed up all these people to like be artists and stuff? Like, when was the Renaissance, bro?
Like 1400s, 1400s ish.
1560. Yeah, you're right. You're right. What
Yeah, 1500s.
prompted it? Because like clearly, I mean, they say there's a cultural movement, but yeah, there can be a
Enlightenment.
cultural movement, but
Isn't
they
it
need
like
to have free time.
Enlightenment ideology?
Yeah, but again, they need to have the free time. They need to like somehow be like freed up from the things they're doing, right? Like you can't be a subsistence level. I guess like before the Renaissance, was it a subsistence level society, or were they like kind of like chilling a little bit,
Or wasn't it like the Middle Ages? Wasn't it just like feudal?
That's true. Yeah.
Like people are dying from like the Black Death and stuff. I think that
Yeah.
stopped the Renaissance.
Well, I guess like I mean then like was Leonardo like a wealthy person or no? I feel like he started as like an apprentice, right? And then like he worked his way up through that.
Yeah, Leonardo. I'm actually not sure how he started. Well, he was what, like super late 1400s,
Yeah, he was at the
1500s.
tail end. I want to say Da Vinci,
Da
Leonardo da
Vinci.
Vinci.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, crazy
1452 he's
aura.
born. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, he had insane aura. He's like theorizing parachutes and like helicopters while also drawing anatomy, while also painting the Mona Lisa, while also
Yeah.
sculpting. Like, bro,
He made
what
substantial
is going on?
discoveries in anatomy, civil engineering, hydrodynamics, geology,
Yeah.
optics, and
Oh yeah, flu.
tribology.
Yeah.
It's just science and engineering of understanding friction, lubrication, and wear. That's I've never heard of that. And so he did not publish his findings, and they had little to no direct influence on subsequent science. That's aura. That's like the silent loner aura we were talking about earlier. That's like real
It's
like
aura.
he was just Sigma grind set, lock himself in the basement and draw like guys with four limbs.
This is
That's
like, yeah, dude. That's like the do it for the love of the game, and then
yeah.
people after just discover
Yeah,
that you
yeah, that's
changed
always the
people's
difficulty, right? It's like it's people after you. I guess people who make a big impact in their lifetime tend not to be people who make the history books, right? You know, like entertainers and stuff. They don't tend to like have a historical impact.
Yeah.
You know, I guess like
Yeah.
unless it's in the
I know.
context of like they were one of the first for their particular medium, like the first TV stars or whatever. But they tend to have a very small impact. Um, I don't know. I mean, like now that we're moving away from like I don't know. I feel like art's a smaller part of our history, and like the arts in general, arts writing is like a smaller part of our history now than it was in the past, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are other ways of communicating besides like books, besides like paintings, right? We have so much like the internet, social media,
Podcasting.
yeah, podcasting. You know, you got like whatever. Like, are we going to like still create good literature? Like in 100 years, is someone gonna look back and be like, "Hold up, this is fire," or like, you know, is someone from like our sort of rough
Thought
generation,
about this actually.
you know?
It's like we put all these guys from the past on a pedestal almost, but
Mm.
even the ones from like the 20th century. But do we have people in the 21st century yet that are like worthy of putting on a pedestal in those kind of fields? You know,
I think there are some, but I can't think. I was asking about art specifically because I can't think of any there. And like
in
maybe it's because
art,
I'm not an
like I
artist.
don't even know.
Yeah, I mean like there are
Like
some.
Takashi Murakami.
That's a good one. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I guess like it will be down to like the impact, right? And he's got a pretty big one. There's a guy I forget his name. Who's that like Asian dude from like California who's done like Terrence
Oh,
Tao. Terrence
oh, the
Tao's a
young
demon.
Dave. Oh, you're talking about Terrence Tao.
Yeah. Who are you talking about?
Talking about the artist. I think his name's like he's Asian. I don't know if he's from California though. He's the dude that I think in like the Mandalorian or in something he was painting like the background. He painted Facebook's like headquarters and made a ton of money off of it. I forgot his name.
Oh, guy who painted Facebook. Office. Yeah, hold up. David Cho,
Uh,
written and illustrated for magazines such as Hustler, Raygun, and Vice. You know who's a pretty like big influence? Nigo, like the producer. He's got his own like
Oh yeah, Nigo.
clothing
Yeah,
line and stuff as well. Like so he's such around the note.
yeah. He
Yeah,
made Bape.
that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Nigo might be one of those people that goes down in history. He's pretty quiet as well. I think like that's what's nice about his lifestyle is that like he doesn't have to like, you know, he doesn't actually have to do much. You know, he or
do you
like
think that's
sorry, he
cultural too though?
I mean, he's so
He's
tapped
not
in
like
with the culture, right?
technically
It
like
only happens because he's tapped in
he's
with the
tapped in with the
culture.
West, but it's just
Yeah. Sorry, it's not that he doesn't have to do much. It's that he like you know, he he's just like he's so far removed from being a public figure, and yet he gets to enjoy all the benefits of being a public figure, right? He gets to like sort of, you know, go to like all the events. He still gets to like have that sort of like high roller lifestyle, and yet people don't like bother him. They don't stop him in the street and be like, "Oh my God, it's Nigo," right? I feel like producer's pretty good. Being a producer is a pretty good like gig that like gets you sort
like a
of want to
Pharrell
do.
Williams.
Oh no, people clown him. I mean, he like because
I,
of Happy, right? Like, dude, that's so messed up. Like,
I
really
think he hates
promising
it though. I think
producer.
he hates it himself.
Yeah, yeah, he has. It's just it's tough, man.
He's a rapper too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, I only know of him as a producer, and then the happy guy. It's just like that was the end of it. They
I
ruined
bet
his
he got a
image.
bag though.
That's true. That's
I think
true.
got a
But I
bag.
mean, at the loss of his aura and like his future career, I feel like he said this before. He's like, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have done the damn songs. It ruined my career. It's not that it ruined it, right? I mean, like, but now he's like the
It just
guy who
changed his.
plays. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's the guy who like the malls play, right? And it's just like he's the like family friendly like radio that you listen to on a field trip. It's like that so limits you. Yeah. I don't know.
He's not. He's not drop it like it's hot, Pharrell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
James
crazy.
Leishman asks, "Is YouTube not an art form?" Ooh, this is a tough one. I kind of want to be a snob and say no, but like at the same time, it's like,
I feel like it. I mean, what doesn't make it an art form?
well, it's not necessarily
No.
that's not an art form. It's like I guess if we're thinking about like art in the sense that it will have, people will look back in like 50, maybe 100 years, right? 50, 100 years, and then like think like, oh, that was, that piece of art or like this something, right? This object, this experience captured something important about that specific time in history. I feel like that's kind of what defines like, broadly what defines like art. It has to be something that like, captures, because I mean, you can describe like writing as art, maybe not, but like, broadly
I
speaking.
guess it's like
Uh,
what makes a film or like a short film art and not like a really well made YouTube video not
yeah,
art.
I think it's, hmm,
Like a
maybe it's like
documentary or
the,
something like.
yeah, maybe it's the intent. Like if it's a little bit more aspirational, right? If you are like trying to, okay, I think we could definitely like eliminate certain forms of YouTube videos as art. Moist
Yeah.
critical, reciting, regurgitating whatever like news of the week is not art. Or in the same way, a lot of like the drama channels or like, you won't believe what happened with like blank today, Sniper Wolf, like
Drama
that's,
alert.
yeah, drama alert. I mean, drama alert is like integral to
TMZ.
the here, like yeah, yeah, yeah. The TMZ type stuff, the live leak, maybe live leak is important to the
I
culture, but like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't strike me as art. Um,
feel like also just like videos reposting actual like just I mean just videos with no actual input from a creator. Is that art?
oh, for
Like
sure, for sure. Like reaction content or just like re-uploads. Yeah.
yeah,
Family Guy funny moments, like episode, 483. Like, yeah.
I get those.
Gibby Muffin says JoJo is in the Louvre or something. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it is. Iraqi is goated, man. Iraqi is actually goated.
Yeah.
He got like Gucci
Uh huh.
collabs and stuff too. Like
That's
he just be
wild.
drawing for him. He's crazy.
That's wild. Universal Fox says Made in Abyss had beautiful pages. I want to talk about Made in Abyss briefly.
Oh
'Cause
God, should we talk about Made in
let's
Abyss?
let's how do we talk about this without the two of us going to jail? I mean, it's like
Oh,
this is
see,
a
you'll go to jail if you talk about the manga. If you talk about the anime, it's honestly not that
that's
bad.
true, but he said pages, right? So he's talking about the manga.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
So
That's
yeah,
the
you're
thing,
in
that's the
trouble
thing.
as well, Fox. We're all going to jail. But it's like, what is it
Police.
with Japanese artists, right? And like manga especially, where it's like, what a great premise, what a great story, and then there's little children. It's like, and then
It's
there's little
the
children and like baby oil, and it's like, why would you do this? What
and
what
there's a lot of
point?
fetishizing.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't develop the story. Like there's no point in having the little children running around like getting diddled. And it's like it always happens. It always happens. I pick up a good series sometimes, people recommend it and they're like, "Oh, but," and there's always some caveat. And the caveat is always like there's little children. And it's like, "Why are Japanese people like this, man?" Do we need
Yeah,
like
that's
another
just
nuke?
one of them too.
What'd you say?
I'm trying to be judgmental, but that's just one of them. There's also incest and all these other things. That
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
Crazy age gaps.
And it's like
Like high school and then
yeah, yeah, or it's
like
like
middle-aged men.
stepdaughter, whatever, and it's like, I don't know. We kind of joke about it in the West, and it's like, I don't want to stand on some moral pedestal and say like, oh, our like culture is superior, but like, a culture. I would argue that a culture that doesn't allow you to diddle kids, or at the very least thinks that's a bad thing, is probably like, that's probably the way to go, right? Children are innocent. Children. I don't need to defend not diddling kids. I mean, like, it's just so strange, and I guess it's reflective of a
Yeah,
culture that doesn't care, right? Yeah.
I feel like it's like with something so saturated with media, it's inevitable
Uh-huh.
to occur in any setting. But it's the fact that it's disproportionately being shown is what's odd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I wouldn't necessarily say there's an agenda, but it definitely speaks to like
Yeah, it's
a very like strange, and I think it is fair to say strange in this context of children, cultural sensibility. Um, so James Leishman says, I think the reason why YouTube won't have the same staying power is because it is much more accessible, which means that more people make things. It makes it hard to find exceptional stuff. I guess, but like people write a lot of like garbage literature as well. You know, like before the invention of like the television or like the telegraph, like people were like spewing out garbage. It was like, you know, all those like periodicals or like I guess what people today would call like I don't know. It's like the stuff that like when you open like your if people have like Kindles, right? I always buy my Kindle has like ads on it. And it's like ads that like the soccer moms would read, and it's like he was a former convict and he's out of prison, but now he's on a warpath for love or something. It's like that kind of garbage existed back then as well. I think there's a whole lot of it. So I don't know. I don't think necessarily that the fact that a medium has a lot of people interacting with it, or a lot of people, or that a medium is accessible, makes it less likely to be an art form. I think it's the intent, right? Because if it's like just intending to sell copies, right, like stuff like that, like no one writes a book like that and thinks, wow, this is like Nobel like Prize for Literature thing, or like I'm saying something really here. It's like no, you're trying to sell, to like lonely divorced moms, which is that's a market, go get your bag, but like. I think it's the intent, and I think certain mediums, maybe what you're getting at is that certain mediums, it's a little bit easier to have maybe a more of a pure intent to like say something rather than to want other people to see you saying something. I don't know if that makes sense, Bima. What do you think?
yeah. So you're thinking that the accessibility of YouTube doesn't have an effect on how it's viewed as art.
I wouldn't
And,
necessarily say it doesn't have an effect, but like it doesn't immediately preclude it from being art. It doesn't stop it from being art just because
yeah.
it's accessible.
No, I think so too, because I mean, consider like streaming platforms like Netflix and stuff,
Mm.
or I mean, I guess you can use anything to just find actual art nowadays online. I guess it's different, like visually, since it's like through a screen and not actually seeing it, but
Mm.
in a sense, like everything is just more accessible now without a paywall.
I think so. Like, I guess it is theoretically accessible. That it doesn't necessarily mean that people access it, right? Like, or that knowledge of like how to get it is accessible. I would
Yeah,
argue
that's
that
true.
like a lot of books are free. I mean, like, with LibGen, like LibGen's been down for a while. I don't know what's up with that. Or like Pirate Bay back in the day, Internet
Yeah.
Archive. Like, you can find almost any book you want if you just go digging a bit and you're willing to sort of go to some seedy sites. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that people actually like read more. There's like an accessibility argument, and then there's also like, do people know first off that like LibGen or like Sci-Hub or whatever these like torrenting sites exist? Um, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the layman like average person would, unless you're like in. Well, I think middle-aged people. I don't know. I feel like young people kind of have an idea just because of all like the textbooks and stuff.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Mikav says, I think serious YouTube documentaries and YouTube indie animation shows could be a form of art. I think that's definitely more in the running. Like, there has to be some
I think so.
segmentation. Yeah. Where it's like, you have to.
Gotta draw a line.
Yeah. Or it's like, the documentaries, right, are a good example. And, like, indie animation shows, those are like, they're meant to, like, tell a. Meant to, like, sort of tell a story rather than it being a production. So, in a way, like, a Mr. Beast video could never be sort of, like, art because he wants views, but like if you're I don't know, maybe Andrew Callahan, like Channel 5 News, maybe that's a little
Vice.
closer. Yeah. I guess Vice has turned a little bit more into like a commercial entity
I
these
don't know
days.
nowadays.
Yeah.
It used to be
Yeah, the
just
OG Vice
docs.
stuff was really good. Like when they went to like North Korea. I feel like that
Oh
could
yeah.
be at the very least that feels more like journalism than the stuff they're doing now. Somewhere between journalism and art, right? Feels a little bit more pure. And it's like hard to articulate what exactly I mean by pure, but like you have some sense that like it's like it's not cynical. It's not like they're just farming you for views, right? Yeah. Yeah. Philip Petrosian says the Divine Comedy was written in Italian to be accessible and it's seen as art. Yeah. And then Universal Fox says, do not talk about what was it? Made in Abyss. It's bad, but the background art is good. The artist is weird, but his art Kanye moment. The moment. How do you defend
What the?
him, bro? There's a video of him walking around outside with like a swastika shirt on, just like walking around like wherever he is right now, probably like zooted off his mind. Um, on what is he on? Is it nitrous?
Nitrous.
Yeah, yeah,
It was.
yeah.
He made graduation.
He made graduation. How that just goes to show you. I don't know how much it says about Kanye, but it says a lot about graduation. It's like it's such a strong album that it's kept him afloat through all of these things, and it's like, you see, if P Diddy made like Michael Jackson level music, would people excuse him? Right? Like that's
It's
an
like, buddy,
important question. Yeah, if he had Michael Jackson aura, before all the diddling stuff came out, and especially if he had it before he started doing the diddling, would he?
here's something.
Yeah.
Here's something. Why did Michael Jackson's catalog not save him from criticism? Wasn't he accused of diddling?
I think in the time it did, but it's like over time, or like when he was, relevant, it did. But like after time, after he's dead, right? After sort of his fans move on to something
Yeah.
else, right? Like there's no one to sort of protect him, and sort of the facts come to light. I think his art has also like people start to lose an appreciation for his art, which is why we're all so surprised when we see like a concert and it's like I don't know, 16 billion people there. Um, yeah,
And I see the Metallica concert in 1991 Moscow. That was crazy. It's like
is
a
that
million
one?
people
Is that
there.
a huge one? I haven't seen this one.
That's that one huge one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like concerts were different before the whole like everyone has their phone out recording thing.
Oh yeah. That's true. That's true.
Like,
Yeah. There's no
you're just
way
like
to
forced
enjoy
to be.
it. Yeah. The only way to
His
enjoy
fans
it.
were definitely like,
Yeah.
at least with Michael Jackson, like his fans must have been so diehard because they're buying literal CDs and he's selling like diamond level
Yeah.
like sales. It's insane.
Well, that was the only way to go back to accessibility. That was the only way to access the art was to buy the CD or go to the concert, right?
The
Or maybe
radio,
radio
yeah.
station. But like, radios like, especially before like they had FM modulation, right? Like, the quality was just bad with AM radio, and then like you'd have to wait and like wait for it to come on. If you wanted it on demand, the only way to do it was either buy the vinyl or like later buy the DVD, CD, whatever. I guess concerts were also more of a big deal like back then than they are now, probably. I mean, like Woodstock and like whatever, they were like sort of more of like a cultural
Woodstock.
fixture.
Like a Live Aid.
Yeah. I don't know. I've told people, I've told Bima this, but like I went to one concert in my life, and it was let's say, I won't say the name of the rapper, but I went to his concert, and he ended early, showed up late, ended early, didn't bring on like half the artists he said he would, and then the concert got shut up. That's my one experience going to a concert, and it's like it's horrible. It's like I obviously there are like sort of better ones, but it's like it's not so much of an event because I guess like the number of artists is so big that like you and your friends might not necessarily listen to the same artists. I have friends who listen to like The Weeknd or whatever, or they listen to like Clairo or like Yabba Dabba Doobie. And it's like I have no interest in those concerts. So I don't know.
It's hard because concert is like a really big umbrella term for like festivals on grass, and then you have actual like
That's
arenas,
true,
and then you
yeah.
have smaller venues. It's like a whole different vibe for each one, and then the genre also just creates a
Yeah.
different vibe for each one. It's like
Yeah, it is. I think one of the great concerts was the what's the one where they had like Ken Carson on after one of those like indie like artists. Oh, what was it?
oh,
I feel
is
like
it
you know about
Coachella or
this.
was it,
Yeah, it was like Coachella. And they had him on after like.
or was it?
Oh
Oh,
my
my favorite
God.
was Lola. No, my favorite was Lollapalooza. Playboy Cardi coming after or before Miley Cyrus, and all the Miley Cyrus
Oh,
fans
before?
got mad because all the yeah. No, yeah, he was performing before her, so all of her fans were waiting there.
Uh-huh.
And all of the Playboy Cardi fans were like going crazy, mosh pitting, throwing
Ah,
punches
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And
Oh,
all
dude,
these
those
Miley
Rage
Cyrus
guys,
fans.
they're a public menace. The one I was thinking about was Ken Carson going after Lana Del Rey, which
Oh,
was
that is
another
oh,
disaster. You had people like begging for their lives out there. It's the like.
I think he opened up for Red Hot Chili Peppers too. Which
Oh,
is
that's
absurd.
wild. I love watching the videos, and it's like the people are like screaming or whatever, all the Lana fans, and then people are like they're screaming in joy as they finally hear real music. And this was after, this was right. This is after Cardi going on before Miley and Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
It's just
That
wild.
was so funny. That was so funny.
that's that's the only like, and that like shows you how like widely music is split these days. Because I feel like
Exactly.
a lot of people would have been a larger population, a portion of the population would have been Michael Jackson fans just because he was on the radio all the time. But now that you have Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, whatever, and you can choose your own music, like your range is like necessarily much narrower, and like the boundaries are very hard, like rigidly defined. You don't listen to stuff outside of what you listen to, because you don't listen to the radio. You listen to your Spotify mix or whatever. Um,
Mm.
it's weird.
It's also like
Yeah.
subcultures. Like a
Hmm.
lot of people have shared personality traits just being within one realm. I know a lot of people like listen to multiple genres, but
Yeah.
like there's a significant amount in each genre that's like a stereotypical fan. I feel like you could like draw a
Yeah.
picture in your mind of like
That definitely.
few, archetypes.
And I think that's partially because of like the internet, right? Like the only reason the archetypes sort of exist is because, right, like the internet has created a space where like these people can interact with each other. Because if it was just sort of like, if it was back in like, I don't know if you could like identify what a Michael Jackson fan looked like, right?
Yeah, I don't think
It's
so.
just everybody, every American on the face of the earth, plus like every like, European and like anyone who had access to radio was a Michael Jackson fan. Hard to say. Hard to say. But definitely an interesting question. Which
It is
goes,
interesting.
yeah. And I guess that plays back. We asked this earlier. I don't know if we came to an answer, which is, will there be another Michael Jackson? Will there be someone with as much aura as Michael Jackson?
Bro, I don't think it's like with the accessibility now, I don't even think it's possible.
Yeah.
There's just too many people like the thing is too, it's like you'd have to be relevant internationally.
Hmm.
Oh, I think what the most famous people internationally are what football players now, like
Are
we
they?
call them soccer players, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cristiano
yeah.
Ronaldo. Yeah.
That's true, but like, yeah, yeah. I guess it's not so
Like in
much in the
terms of like
U.S. Yeah, it's not something we see. They definitely have like tons of. Yeah, it might actually just be like Ronaldo.
yeah, I think actual like living person is probably Ronaldo.
Hmm. I wonder if there's any like artists though who make the list.
Maybe like maybe Drake, like living artist, maybe Drake.
What about like I guess yeah, internationally it's hard to say, isn't it?
Like I don't know, not Adele.
Yeah.
Beyonce? No, I don't think Beyonce is bigger than.
No,
Actually, I don't think she's bigger than Drake.
no, not these days. I
Like
mean,
other
it's so
countries for sure.
we're hitting a point which is that like it's so time dependent as well. Like I mean, if you asked me like 10 years ago, yeah, Beyonce probably maybe like 15 years ago, Beyonce would have been bigger than Drake, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's past our heyday. Same thing with like Jay Z. Someone's asking Jeff, why do I hear cops? Did Jeff do something? They found his nuclear weapons. Jeff's got ops now. I have ambience on. It's just like city noises. This is to cover the actual ambience, which is even louder city noises. But there are less gunshots and sirens in this one, so I thought you guys would find it enjoyable. It also fits like the O Block background, so I don't know. Do people want to change the background? That's another thing we can ask, right? We can do this. We can set up a poll, and then if people are interested, we can move this discussion somewhere else. What do we think, chat? I'll set up a poll if I can figure out how to do that. Can I make a poll? Can I make a poll? Are you looking up how to make a poll?
No, no, no.
Um,
Thinking more like was kind of extrapolating our question even like
Start
greater.
a
It's
poll.
like
Uh,
it's like
yeah.
who's the? I think it's like an easy question to answer, but it's like who's the most well-known person ever? I think people just say religious figures because
Oh, the Queen. The Queen before she died is a really good argument, but we'll get into that. So,
oh yeah, the
yeah.
Queen.
First, before we go, before we say that, yeah, where should we move to? Fucking Bima, do you have any suggestions? Any places we should go to instead of O Block?
Instead of O Block. um,
Or we
White
maybe should go
House.
to like those Google reviews of O Block that have a picture of like some random valley in like Vietnam or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's say Hidden Valley.
Just go to like a rice field.
Yeah, rice field. What's the other one? What is like worse than O Block? Do we just go to like Baghdad or something? I don't know.
Like a Pol Pot, like rice
No,
field in
no,
Cambodia,
no,
and
no,
like
no, no. Oh no. Maybe just like I don't know, somewhere in Atlanta. What's are there any famous landmarks in Atlanta?
the Coca-Cola factory. I don't know.
Coca-Cola factory in Atlanta. Okay. Cola factory in Atlanta. All right. Start poll. These are shitty options, guys, but if someone figures, if you guys have a strong opinion, let me know. All right. Let's see. Someone said 4 votes. We'll see. I'm personally for the Coca-Cola factory in Atlanta, and I need to sign in. What the? Hello? What is this?
You
Can
gotta
I not
sign in
get
and make a
rid of it?
poll.
I
Oh,
can't
just
like
change your
back out
background.
either. Create account? No. What the? Son of a bitch. Why is it always like
Hey,
this?
you can't
Close
leave the
window.
O. You can't leave the O.
You can't leave the O, bruh. How that?
We are stuck
Okay,
in O block.
we're gonna try and open chat again. Here we go. Okay. Restart screen capture. Properties. Control airdrop. Chat. There you go. Okay. Great. Now, and then we make this smaller. Here we go. I'm not changing it to Minions R34, Philip. Thank you very much. We're not touching that.
R34 is crazy.
R34 is insane. You're gonna get us all banned. Actually, I guess I should log in, shouldn't I? Coffee time with Jeff. I'm not a robot. Next. Oh, son of a. No, it's not part of the robot, is it? Do I count the handlebars? I don't know. What? Oh, I'm a robot, chat. I'm a robot. That's all the bridges, right? Next. Hello? Alright, we're cooked. We're cooked. Am I logging into the right account? Bruh, technical difficulties. Bruh, technical difficulties. Oh, no, it's not Coffee Time W, Jeff. It's coffee. See, I like made an account called Coffee Time with Jeff, and then like I forgot the login, so now it's Coffee Time W, Jeff. Alright. Hello? Oh my god. There you go, log in. Oh my god. This is painful. Yes, that's me. Let me log in. I don't care. I literally don't care. I don't care. Continue to YouTube. Dismiss. There's an issue signing you into YouTube. There's no point in doing that. I just wasted my time. Okay, great. Great, 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 great. Alright, well, I will have to vote on my other account, and then we'll see sort of where it goes from there. OBS Studio Chat. Here we go. And there we go. Let's vote on here. Hidden Valley, I am going for Coca-Cola. Everyone wants to go to Hidden Valley Rice Farm in Vietnam. Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, the stream has spoken. We're gonna go to, what was it? Rice Farm, Vietnam. I wonder what that actually looks like when I look it up. Vietnamese Valley. Is that it? That quality's too low. 2500. That seems like a good one. Downloads. All right. We're gonna go over there now. Properties. Not this one. What kind of ambient sounds are actually like associated with the Vietnamese Valley? I don't know, chat. Oh, here we go. We're now in Vietnam. What kind of ambient Vietnamese sounds can I have?
Like motorcycles. I don't know.
It's like Viet Cong sounds.
Oh my god.
uh,
Squelching boots in a
Squelching
wet
boots.
terrain.
Let's see. Vietnam ambient sound. Let's just look up Vietnam ambient sounds. I don't have a damn clue. 10 hours of soothing, relaxing, meditating Vietnam war sounds for studying and thinking. Yeah, I guess we're gonna listen to this. Great. We went from one war zone to another war zone. I hope you guys are happy. I mean, this is always how it's gonna go. Alright. This is so cooked. Alright, and that's the poll. Thanks, chat. There we go. There we go. Man dying in a bamboo trap.mp3. I don't even remember what we were talking about, Fimo. I'm sorry. Like me and my little schizo detour.
It was on the most famous people in the world.
Yeah. Who is the most famous person in like? I guess
Like
who's still
living or,
alive?
like-
Yeah, who's still alive? Because that precludes the queen. We can't include her anymore. Who's the most famous person that's still alive?
I feel like it's Ronaldo, but it might be some political. Like,
Maybe the Pope actually.
Putin? Oh yeah. Maybe the Pope.
Like, do more people know about the Pope, or do more people like know about Ronaldo? Because how many Catholics are there? Every Catholic knows about the Pope.
All of South America.
Yeah.
Like, most of South America.
How many Catholics? There's
What about Africa,
1.39 billion Catholics in the world, right? How many Ronaldo fans are there?
I think there's more people watching the World Cup and like.
Yeah. It's hard. The Ronaldo thing's hard because it says he has more than 1 billion like followers across all of his social media accounts. So
That's like including like the same person on each account.
Yeah, I don't think it includes that. I think it's just summing all the numbers up. It's pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Panzerkampfwagen made a good, or Panzer IV made a good point. Ronald McDonald, what if we include like semi-fictional characters, right? Like
Mickey Mouse. Or
Mickey
Bugs
Mouse
Bunny.
might be like
Oh, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. I guess that you can go all the way back to Jesus, but let's keep it to something invented in the last like last decade.
Maybe Mickey Mouse. I don't know. Mickey Mouse.
Shout out Mickey. Yeah, I don't know, man. Who would it be? Ugh. It has to be Jesus.
It's a good question.
Who else besides?
I mean,
Ronaldo?
overall,
like
all
besides
time is
the Pope?
definitely Jesus.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he stayed around for so long.
It's probably
and, like, there's so
honestly, like,
many
in order.
Christians. Uh-huh.
Probably in order, like Jesus, like Muhammad, Abraham.
Yeah, that kind of just by like the
Straight up, like-
populations, the relative populations, that makes sense. Yeah.
And after that, maybe like Newton. Skibidi toilet. You know, what do you think made? You think that the rise of social media and stuff made it so that scientists are less popular in the mainstream? Like, you know how like I feel like the last really big public scientist, like all of them were around Einstein era, Feynman.
I think that was just a very productive time
Einstein.
because you had a war, and that means that countries are spending lots and lots of money on science. And then you had a Cold War, which meant that countries are spending
bro.
lots and lots of money on science. Yeah.
Who's the most famous, like technically like famous? Like, would it be Neil deGrasse Tyson? Or
It's
Bill
gotta be
Nye?
Einstein,
Like,
man, bro. Like Einstein,
I mean, living-
people don't even
living.
know what he did, and they just know he's famous because he's a super genius. They know E equals MC squared, and they don't know what any of the letters in that equation mean. Like, yeah, that's pretty goated for a scientist. But yeah, I don't know, sort of. Are scientists less popular these days, or is it just that like they've always sort of like, or that like the Cold War, World War II era was like a really sort of anomalous blip in history? James says Adolf has to be up there somewhere. No, Adolf's not up there. He's down there somewhere. He's there with King Von. he's down there with King Von, and I don't know who else. but I don't know about up there, chat. Yeah. Did I end the? Yeah. End poll. End poll. Yeah. The person who asked the question, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Stephen S, thanks for joining. Yeah, for you guys who joined recently, I'm chatting with Bima, one of my friends. Funny guy, as you can tell clearly, but you know, check out his channel. It's linked in the bio. Mean a lot to both of us if you guys sort of gave it a look. He's the sort of the foremost expert I know on aura and like aura farming and stuff like that. So if you want to learn, you know, head out. King Von versus Jeff, who would win? I mean, far be it for me to criticize Holy Patriarch Von, Saint Von, the kind and benevolent. You know, I should think that I don't have the right to sort of like even look, you know, to even face him. You know, that's Saint
I think you
Von.
beat King Von if you beat Vaughn if it's like those, you know, Batman scenarios. You know, how much time do you have to plan? You could use.
I beat
use
Vaughn
your
because
physics
I'm still
knowledge.
alive and he's not. That's the only like.
You
That's
beat him
the
by a
only
fault.
metric by which I win. Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say? I win by technicality.
Yeah, if you could win technically if you had like time to plan, maybe.
Yeah. We went from 60.
You have to like hit him where he's.
He's a demon. Where am I supposed to hit him? I mean, he got shot and like, you know, it just doesn't kill. Well, I guess I mean, it did kill him in the end, but like, you know, he's like notorious. How am I supposed to like? And then there's
I don't
like
know. Yeah,
Rondo with a rocket, right? Like his friends have fucking rocket launchers and sniper rifles. Like, what am I about to do, man?
you've
Yeah.
got to make it not one-on-one. You've got to like pre-plan stuff so that his whole like living place is like
I gotta send him to like
full
Baghdad or
of,
something. Yeah,
like claymores or something. Like I don't know. Like, there's no way you win.
fucking
like,
Home Alone, but with like
street fight.
high explosives. That's wild. Yeah. James Leishman asks, is solo leveling a good demonstration of aura farming? Bima, I think this isn't for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think Jin Woo is a pretty good example of aura farming.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, right? He's like cosplaying as like a rank E, like he just got that aura, you know, nonchalant aura.
I forget what the premise of that one is. I've mixed it up with the other one that was like
It's the
kind of similar.
it's the one where it's like
Is that the one where he
I
goes
feel like
back in
I'm gonna
time?
spoiling it. I'm gonna spoiling it if I talk about it too much, but it's essentially like he gets
What's the
these
premise?
powers where it's like this guy in Hunter. It's like this world where there's dungeons and there's hunters, and they go from like E to S rank.
Oh yeah.
And he's kind of like
Uh-huh.
he's kind of like an E rank, and then
Yeah.
gets into a situation where essentially he has like this ability to train like
Mhm.
and rank up by himself,
Yeah.
and he's essentially smurfing is what he's doing. He's just
He's smurfing. Yeah, tight shit.
and I mean it basically like not only does his personality change, he gains aura points in just like how he looks. Like he looks like a normal dude at the start, and by the end he looks like an actual like Sigma Chad. Like I don't even know like
Mm-hmm.
how that happened, but
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
pretty good
Actually,
example of aura
now that I
farming.
remember, yeah, they changed the way he grew like extra bones in his face.
He grew taller, and he's like slender, and like his face is like
He paid for
slender, his
plastic
hair
surgery
changed.
with all the aura points he got. Oh my god. Someone says,
That's a really good example though.
yeah. That's a very good example of aura farming. I think a lot of these like isekai protagonists are a pretty decent example if they aren't like the super degen like Japanese ones, who just like
Yeah.
I went back in time and now I have a 4,000-year-old fox harem or something. Someone says Jeff would win against King Von in a medium-range dogfight, but has limited angle on the gun, and the short-range heat-seeking missiles aren't very good. Jeff versus F-22 Raptor. Jeff no diff. I don't think you guys understand. What's that like interview with Vaughn where they're like, he would walk people down in his own 2 feet. It's like, you don't understand how much of a demon he was. Like, King Von, I think it's
man.
pretty well established. He had, was it 8 bodies or 12 bodies by the time he died? He had like killed 8 people. Or
Loki,
12
I feel like it
people.
was double digit. I feel like
I think it
double
is
digit.
probably
I don't know,
double
though.
digits. The confirmed kills are 8, but like, you know, probably somewhere closer to 12. And it's just like insanity. Like this man would walk people down. He would dress up. Did he dress up or is that somebody else? There was another guy like in that like same gang who would dress up as a girl and then just like, you know, lure guys in and just like slime them. Um, King Von practically invented like switches. Like, switches. He was the one that popularized switches. He has had unfathomable damage on like the sort of composition and like the sanctity of American cities. Like he is a demon. He's a demon.
Definition.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Is he a
know.
serial killer by definition?
I think by the number of kills he has, yeah. Low key. I don't know. I mean like I guess it's kind of hard to say because like was he doing it because he
I
liked
guess
it?
it's like how do you, yeah, exactly. It's how do you justify the motivation? Like what's the reasoning?
There's that one guy, Trappler Ross, made a whole video claiming he was, and then like King Von's family like sued him or something. But I think it's like, I mean, he talks in songs about like living to like walk people down and like slime them in the middle of the day at a bus stop, and it's like, if you believe what he says, like yeah, I mean, he was probably drumming up it a little bit, but like I mean, he seems pretty proud of his bodies, and like I don't think he's ever expressed remorse for it. So King
Yeah,
Von
it's
is
not
like the
self-defense
Antichrist, low
either. It's
key.
just
Yeah. It's Universal Fox says my cat Germa has more aura and bodies than King Von. I don't know. What's up, Russian bias? Yeah, you can get away with anything if you make good music. That's true. It's like Kanye thing where it's like King Von's also a little bit more ironic, right? Like the people who listen to Von are probably like a little bit more okay with the violence. Again, because it's like gang related. He's not running around and like killing innocent people, except for I guess the one or two times that like someone innocent got caught in the crossfire. But it's like targeted, so it feels a little bit easier to like mentally hit gymnastics justify. I know I used to be a Vaughn fan, I still kind of am, but like, you know, Saint Vaughn, shout out Saint Vaughn,
Saint Fun.
Saint Vaughn. Russian bias asks, why did Jeff get banished to the rice fields? The chat had a vote between the Coca-Cola factory in Atlanta and the Hidden Valley like rice fields in Vietnam. And so he went to Vietnam. Apparently, we went back into like the, I don't know. Apparently, we went back to the Vietnam War as well, though. So that's what you hear in the background. Let me know if this is soothing. We can, we can turn it up, turn it down, or switch it out for the Korean War if you want. Yeah, man. Shout out King Von, bro. Shout out Saint Vaughn and Holy Patriarch Young Boy. Let's see what else was on our little sort of list of stuff. Yeah, I guess on maybe a little note of like that, like I'm getting old. Both of us are like finished our undergrad. Like, at what point do we become too old for internet stuff? At what point is it like low key like cringe to be like interacting with internet stuff? Like Keemstar's a little cringe. He's like 30 and he has a kid and like, he's still covering like internet drama and he's still aware of it. At what point does like being online, terminally online, make you cringe? Or, like what age? What do you think? What do you think, Bimo?
Like making content.
Not making content. I think making content you can sort of exist forever. Like PewDiePie's still fine, right? And he's like,
I was about to say Markiplier and all them.
Yeah, but like in terms of just sort of like passively consuming it, being like hip or whatever.
I feel like, low-key, as times have changed, I feel like being on the internet is become normal, even being older. Kind of like how people nowadays who are older, they probably weren't as exposed when they were younger. They probably only found out about it when they were like 30 years old.
I guess, is it like at some point do I have to leave, or does like generation like beta, whatever comes after Gen Alpha, like do they come up with a new sort of medium or whatever, like their own version of social media that like I'm not invited to, and it's just like at that point it's not worth forcing my way in. I don't know.
It'll be like another thing where it's like it'll be like the jump from like older YouTube to like Vine and like Musically.
Yeah, or like the jump from
think
YouTube to
like, many
TikTok,
old heads.
right? Like
Exactly.
yeah.
And we just reside in like the older one. We wouldn't spread to the newer one.
I think so. I
would,
think
but
it's
not to the same extent.
Yeah, we don't. The technology moves, not us. Like it's not something that requires active input from us. It's the times, and then the children will sort of determine where things go in the future. That's kind of weird. Kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
But I guess like the other question is like, how important is this stuff like to the culture, right? Like, when people look back in 100 years, will they think about like, this kind of stuff, or will they think about like so-called like high culture or whatever, like the art, in sort of the classical way of speaking, the literature or whatever that was produced, right? Will they remember, what will people sort of remember and consider important in our time? I don't know.
I don't know what from the internet they'll remember. They'll remember all like the massive like political stuff. I don't know about like
Mm-hmm.
actual like meme posting. Like I'm sure the advent of meme culture is like important, but like
Mm-hmm.
the actual individual, like no one's going to be like talking about Harambe dying in like a century, you know?
Harambe might have. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's not like particularly well documented. It's all drama, right? Drama doesn't like drama is pretty unlikely to get remembered. I feel like.
Actually, maybe they will talk about Harambe. Do they have a statue? If they have a statue, it might be
Do they have a statue of Harambe?
might actually.
Oh, we gotta see now. Statue.
Oh,
of
I don't remember.
Harambe. There is a 7-foot bronze statue of Harambe that they put in front.
Oh, it's bronze.
Of...
It's never leaving.
No, they put him in New York City. I guess this was during the Occupy Wall Street thing, and they put him up there. Oh, created in 2021, I guess.
The bull?
Wait, what? Yeah, facing the bull. It was briefly placed in front of the Facebook headquarters. What? What the fuck? Where'd it go?
Won't be forgotten.
Yeah, where did it go? They should have just like left him up somewhere.
Bond.
Yeah,
Is it not at the Cincinnati Zoo now? Did they not move it?
No, I don't think that. I don't think
That's
that
crazy.
the statue exists anywhere anymore. Putting Harambe in
Oh,
front
we gotta
of the
find
bull is
that.
pretty good. That's how you get the young people interested. I don't know why people did. I didn't even notice this happened. What the hell?
It was during the whole
That's how I know
COVID
I'm
stuff. It's
old.
probably, I don't know, it must have been.
Yeah, low key, the COVID stuff is just like, I think there is a statue of some sort at the zoo that's turned into a statue of him. I don't know if that was like its original intent.
Mm.
How strange. Yeah, will people remember who the Goon Lord was? Will people remember, any of this?
Yeah, that's a
stuff?
good one. I don't think they're gonna.
That's
they're
pretty
not gonna
like
know that stuff.
insane though. I feel like that's the first like instance of like gooning having repercussions, or like gooning entering into like the public discourse, right? You know what I mean? Like it's the first time that like somebody like like say a middle-aged parent, if they were reading the news, could conceivably have come across it. Philip says Vaughn took the statue. Indeed, he did. He took it all the way back to hell with him. I don't know. Someone says most YouTuber controversies will likely be forgotten. Harambe dying will be remembered a bit more. Is it like something that like? I guess the question is it something that will be preserved, or is it something that will just be like remembered in the minds of the people who grew up during that era? Right? Is it just something that like people like our age, or like from our generation in 40 years will remember? Like, does it just die with us? Because I don't know, like, I don't know what its staying power is.
You think the Drake and Kendrick beef will be remembered in musical history? Is that just in our living memory? No.
Did
Technically,
Michael
it's all
Jackson have a
recorded
beef
in
with
musical.
anyone?
I don't think so. He's too chill. You gotta look at like
Jay-Z?
like Tupac, Biggie, like.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Kendrick and Drake are not Tupac Biggie level. Like, no matter how they say it, like, Kendrick doesn't even
Ice
have, like,
Cube.
a tenth of the listeners that, like, Tupac did.
Really?
I don't think so. No way. I mean, like, Tupac was also the start
feel
of the
like-
generation, right? Like, he started, effectively, like, modern gangster rap. Like,
They were pre-streaming, so it's like accessibility was much
sure,
lower.
but, like, Tupac's staying power is just so much more because he started it. Like, Kendrick did not start lyrical rap, right? He's a very good example, but he didn't, like, bring in the genre. Tupac was the genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Being the originator does give you some boost.
I think so. I mean, like, and then him and Biggie is like it's somehow like sort of indicative of the whole rap beef. That's like
I think
real
theirs is also
shit,
so
right?
much
That's
because
like,
they
Yeah, go ahead.
It's because they both died too. They both died in like
Yeah, yeah,
assassinations.
yeah.
Like it's easy to remember.
And it's like an actual like gang beef, right? Or it's like it's like what rap is about. It's about like, it's that sort of real like tough guy stuff, right? Um, I don't know like what's a fair way of describing it, but it's somehow like in the spirit
Mob
of rap.
mentality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like genuinely a mob. And it's like now this Kendrick Drake stuff is just sort of like who cares? I mean, they're both like billionaires just like slapping each other. They're not like, from the trenches. I guess Kendrick is. Drake wasn't, right? They're not like sort of from the trenches, like ground up rappers rapping about like,
Yeah,
East
see, I
Coast,
think who
West
cares is a good.
Coast. Yeah.
That is a good point because I mean, a lot of people just had that disconnect when watching the halftime show. They just were like, "What is even going on?"
Yeah, 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 exactly. It's like no one really is on like no one really feels Drake's side, right? Like Kendrick and or not Kendrick, like Tupac and Biggie was emblematic of East Coast West Coast, beef, and like people could relate to that. People were on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, but no one really relates to like Drake being a billionaire and a diddler or whatever. And it's like, you know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah,
It's like fundamentally inaccessible, and so like people only get invested as his fans, and like you have to be a fan to get invested. Like it has no staying power beyond sort of like his immediate fan base. I don't know. Oh, hi Ramen. Ramen, do you want to pop in? Jeff, why are you obsessed with Goon Lord? Because it's a moment of history. It's genuinely a moment of history. I think it's extremely impressive, that like that's something that happened. That somebody with a wife and kids went to, effectively a drive-through Hooters with his, shaboing boing out, got caught after he did it like 6 times, and then slimed himself in a parking lot somewhere. Like, I think we should troll people like this. This is just funny. We should commemorate. We should commemorate history. But
I feel like it's not even non like. There's definitely other people that have done similar things. I don't know about the ending, but definitely at least the actual action.
uh, is it? I
He's
don't.
definitely not the only person who's done some type of weird like
Oh
public
yeah, yeah. I
gooning.
guess
Like,
maybe in like this internet age though, right? There's something. What made him memeable? What made the Goon Lord memorable versus the other people? Was it just the fact that he was shamed online, or was there something about him? Right? Was it the fact that he was like married and had kids that made it even funnier to people that it happened? Like I
I
don't
feel like
know.
it's just the situation itself is just comical.
Yeah, maybe it's like the irony of it, and like just how somebody in that station of life would actually do it. It's like I don't know. Maybe that's why. It's hard to say.
I mean, when I first watched it, I didn't even realize what was going on. Like, I had to watch it again. I was like, what even happened?
I've only seen the
Not even
memes.
gonna
I can't goon. I can't goon.
lie.
So I don't know for those of you guys who watch ramen streams. Ramen also. I made ramen draw the Goon Lord on stream. It was great. Goon Lord died for our sins. He did. He did. He's gone to join Saint Vaughn, and under the spirit of Holy Patriarch Young Boy. Um, yeah. There's actually a photo of a shirt saying Kanye attitude with Drake feelings. That sounds horrible. That's like you've the superpowers, right? You've collected all of the like bad superpowers. You're a diddler, you're like a Nazi, you're like bro. Just off the deep end. That's great. That's like a if you don't want to get into college type shirt right here. uh have you seen the YouTube video where the Notorious B.I.G. is spliced between the Overland theme of Super Mario Bros. 2? I don't think so. Jeff exposed, unsub, disliked, banned, and reported. What the hell, Jeff? Why would you force Ramen to draw Goon Lord fan art? That is simply depraved. I never thought you would do something like this. Like we've been talking about for the last, hour or so. It's about commemorating history, right? Who is going to commemorate history if we don't? This is an important part of, our cultural heritage. And if we don't sort of, mark these things down, if we don't sort of make a big deal out of them, nobody will. And then all the losers, will get to decide what history was. They'll decide it was Kendrick and Drake beef instead of Goon Lord and Yabba Dabba Dookie losing fucking aura points. Like that's what we want to remember, right? Isn't one so much better than the other? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, that's what I think. This is my humble opinion as a cultural analyst.
I honestly think most memes will be forgotten.
I think so as well.
It'll just be like cultural archives that are still like there. People want to look through them, but like people will only really remember like political or like crazy films or musical albums that released or stuff like that. They're not going to be
That's true, yeah.
talking about like
Like, what does the fox say or something? I haven't thought about that in a while. But it's like stuff like that, right? Like, how does something become a
Gangnam
viral
Style?
Hit? Yeah. How does something become a viral hit? Like, I feel like
Despacito.
Despacito, there's another one. But like, once they become
even get
these
that one,
viral
to be
hits, they're just all insufferable. Like, is it just because they're popular? I don't know. Like, what makes something viral? Is it just like? I feel like a large part of it has to be random.
It is random.
Yeah.
Sort of hook. There has to be some sort of hook that gets everybody some degree to at least want to engage with it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's also the fact that once it reaches like a critical value, like a bunch of people just want to watch it for the sake that it is like quote unquote viral. So it just keeps ballooning.
Yeah, I guess. It's hard to say. Sorry, I gotta like text somebody. People ask, do you think Vaughn was a gooner? I mean, he loved playing with poles and sticks, so you know, you tell me, right?
Yeah.
They call it Glock and ball torture. Oh no. Oh, when did gooning and like edging and like all of this stuff like enter the common vernacular as well? Like at what
common
point?
vernacular in the last year.
Within the
Common
last year, it
vernacular
has
in the
to
last
be,
year.
right? Because it used to be
But
none,
edging
right?
has been a thing for a long time.
Has it actually? I feel like I've only heard about it like this year. I don't know, man.
In the common vernacular, it's probably new, like in the last year. But I mean, the term edging is like pretty. It has some history. Gooning is definitely like
that has to be new.
Very. Yeah, that's much more newer.
Yeah.
More novel.
Novel. What a strangely sort of like I don't know, like what a great big picture view of like something novel so brain damaged. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
edging is old. It's just like jelking. It's like an old term.
I've never heard jelking before outside of the context of like a critical video. That I've never heard that, man. You're tapped in. You're tapped in with the culture, bro.
No.
A damn clue. Culture. Oh my god.
Edging has some history.
Ultimate Lifestorm says, I am a prehistoric gooner. I made gooning. The reason why Hawk Tua went viral was because of the sheer absurdity that makes it funny. Is it just absurdity? Or is it like somehow that it speaks to like, you know, a general trend in the culture?
What did make that go viral? I don't even like.
I think it was like the millennials. I feel like it was the millennials.
I think it was.
Like latching onto it ironically, and then like Gen Z, Gen Alpha kids latching on, and like an irony on top of the millennials. Like they would say it was a joke to make fun of the millennials. It was like some super irony.
Be like, she hawk on my toit.
Yeah, she hawk on my toit until I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I do think, I think it was a millennial thing. I don't think.
And I think it does speak a little bit to the culture because it's like, I don't know, like we said, gooning came into like, you know, the vernacular or whatever. And so like, you know, maybe it played into that. But I feel like it was irony and then like, you know, post-irony on the same theme.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hard to say. I gotta get a haircut, man, dude. I genuinely like if a room is hotter than like 68 degrees, my hair just immediately starts like thermal throttling my brain. I just can't think. I'm having some of that right now. Who am I texting? Philip Bedrogian asks. I'm texting King Vaughn. I'm texting Saint Vaughn. The you know, I don't even know what I'm saying. Fuck it, twin. This conversation has single-handedly caused the Western societies to fall on God for real. type shit. Let's win.
God, for real.
You're right. Like OF are way up than before. Goon just became bigger. Is it really? I feel like it's plateaued over the last like. I feel like COVID had a big boost because just people were home, and then it's like plateaued over the last like 3-4 years. Semblance of sense. Hello, hello. Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for joining us. Also, a lot of social media, you see a lot more NSFW than you did last year. I don't know if that's true per se. I'm like not on social media so much anymore. I'm not on like Instagram and stuff, and I've been like really aggressive about hitting like not interested in all of like the goon related posts. So my feed's like pretty well like clean of that stuff. It's just like brain damage, skibbity toilet stuff. But like whiskey time with Jeff, Russian bias asks, how long until we get whiskey time with Jeff? It's happened. I guess actually Bima was there for it. When I hit 100K, I had a call with a couple of my friends. And I just had a shot of whiskey, and then I immediately went back to go to work because I had a piece to do that day. It was good. Yeah, I hit 100K last year. I feel like, I don't know if I've publicly said it. I feel like I have, probably in my earlier streams, but for those of you guys who are watching, thanks for the support. It does mean a lot. It's really crazy that, like, I think Bima and I have talked about this before. It's, like, crazy that somebody just sitting in their, like, apartment these days can reach more people than, like, a king could, maybe, like, 600, 700 years ago. That like millions upon millions of people have seen my videos, and that like people like actively follow me, 100,000 something followers. Like that's really wild. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool that like you guys are around, and I do appreciate the support. Speaking of which, for those of you who are just joining, I'm streaming with Bima, one of my friends, good friend. We've suffered through university together, and if you guys are interested, you can check out his channel. It's linked in the description. We've been talking a lot about aura, talking a lot about gooning, Saint Vaughn, and all of this stuff. And he is a preeminent expert on all of these things. So be sure to check out his channel. Maybe not the gooning. I don't want to put like I don't want to put words in his mouth. Pause. But like
I don't know about that.
The other stuff for sure. He's got more videos in the backlog than I do. So definitely check him out. Yeah. Oh, should be banned. We just gotta control the thoughts. I don't know, man. I mean, it's like, how much does banning? How much does like whatever like? Is it really like you have to get rid of the source, or you have to get rid of people engaging with it, right? It's the whole like argument of like, what do you do with like, addicts, right? Like, is the best way to just like stop it from coming into the like country? I don't think so, right? Like they'll find a way to get around it. So I don't know I don't know where it goes from here. I opened my YouTube and it says college decision reactions by applied to zero safeties, and he's got BU on the front of that. Like I don't know what he's talking about. BU is a safety. USC, Indiana, like what? UIC is like the safety of safeties for Midwest. What is he talking about? Not to say it's a bad school, but it's just like. I hate college content. I don't know why it gets recommended.
I was literally about to ask that. I was like, what is the appeal of just watching a bunch of decision videos?
It's like what do kids who do that afterwards do as well? It's just you just like zork yourself off, right? You just goon on camera for like people to watch. It's like, wow, look at me, I got it. And it's like, what's the fun of that? Like
daily life.
Daily life, yeah. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's.
I mean, it's a whole niche. I mean, there's an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are people like that. I don't know.
It's just so insufferable though. Like we've met college YouTubers. There used to be one at our university, and she lost her job offer because they found her YouTube channel. Like they revoked her offer because like you can't have like a public figure at your like job or whatever, I guess. And it's like, what's the appeal of like day in the life out of college? I don't know. I guess like I understand there is an appeal clearly because there's lots of
it's
people
for like the
watch
prospective people.
I guess, but it's like, do you even watch that before you get in? Especially if you go to like a nice college, right, or like a difficult to get into one. Like watching a day in the life doesn't give you like, that's not important, right? What's important is you should try and get in, and then once you get in, you can look at that. So you would think that the audience would already be pre-selected to be quite small. I don't know.
And people are just curious like what goes on because there's not much like school, like the school itself doesn't release much that is like be
Mm.
trustworthy from the perspective of a student. So it's like you get more of like a interactive idea of what's going on. But at the same time, I mean, those videos are highly edited and they're not like ever accurate days because I
They're
mean,
always shilling as well. You never hear any one of these like college people like saying, "I had a bad time at school," right? Like, I guess technically I count in that pool, or I guess I'm kind of like a college YouTuber, even though I'm out. But it's like none of the day in the life people, especially, right? Like ever say like
I don't
I
think they
got.
can.
Uh
I don't
huh.
think they can afford to say that if they like fully make it their channel,
That's true.
like film content on the campus. Like I don't think you'd want to be the campus celebrity if you're like talking bad about the school. That might put you in a precarious position. I don't know. It's probably
Oh, you think the dean's gonna
not
come out and slime them, just like walk them down in the middle of the
the
walk?
dean,
Wah,
but
wah,
you'd
wah.
probably would get an email to be honest though.
Switch cheese on your snitching ass. Like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe like does a school actually have a prerogative to come after you for saying bad things online about it, right? If it's true. I guess this is like maybe asked kind of selfishly because like
Yeah.
I'm in a position where like if they found out who I was, the dean would come and slime me for all the things I've said about the school. Um, like is there any argument? I guess obviously they have better lawyers than I do, so it's like does it really matter? But like,
There's
is there
no
a legal
way
argument?
like there's an there's no way that like there's any meaningful reason to scrutinize what you said, you know?
I mean the reason, yeah, I guess like there's
Would it
no
just be that
sort of
like
legal
you quote
precedent.
unquote like
Yeah.
it'd be like you quote unquote influence other people to not be interested in the school, like, you
Yeah, I
know,
mean, because kids get slimed in the middle of campus, right?
defamation?
And
Like
yeah. Is it defamation if it's true? I guess it'd probably be like libel, isn't it? Instead of defamation.
isn't
Libel,
libel just like written? It's just a
written
written,
defamation, yeah.
yeah.
Does defamation have to be like fictitious? Sharing false information, yeah. Defamation sort of. Oh,
They'd
communication that
claim it's
injures the
that.
reputation and causes a legally redressable injury. So then that becomes what's legally redressable. Um,
Man, if college is about free speech, come on, man.
yeah, and so it can extend. So it's not necessarily restricted to making assertions that are falsifiable. It can also extend to concepts that are more abstract, like reputation. Like, yeah, I think if I dropped the name of my school, I would actually do like measurable damage to their reputation. So I think they would have the grounds for a defamation suit. It wouldn't be like a moral ground, but I think
I
they
don't
have
think
a
they'd
legal
ever care
foundation
enough.
too. You'll see, man, dude. If I drop a video and it gets like 10 mil views saying why you shouldn't go to University of Blank, right? Or like,
Okay.
I feel like they'd come in and they'd be like, all right, time to like, it's like College Board, right? College Board like got my video like delisted. They got me demonetized. They got me a community guideline strike when it was blowing up, and then that's like all it needs, and then that just curtails the growth. Um, I'd say that
I
like
feel
I've
like an
done.
institution
Yeah, go ahead.
like the college board is more likely to go after you if you talk smack than an actual school. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I feel like a school would be more flexible, but I mean that's just me hypothesizing. I don't
No,
actually know.
I agree. I agree. But it maybe be like, 70% of what a company would do. It wouldn't be like 10%. I feel like they still go after you, low key. Um, hard to say. But yeah, I think College Board, like, I think I measurably did like something to College Board when I dropped my videos. Like, it's probably all been sort of like corrected now, but I mean, like, that College Board video has more than 1 million views. It's insane
Do
to
you
me.
draw their logo?
Yeah, I drew their acorn. I showed their actual logo. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that's like part. That's probably part of it.
I think out of the let's see, out of the top 8 most viewed videos on my channel, right? 4 of them are about College Board or ETS, uh, and 3 of them are about College Board's like 2020 AP test disaster. Um,
Oh yeah.
it's crazy. Like, this is the stuff that gets views. I'm at 1.2 million on one of them. What the hell? This is, why do people watch this? I guess it's like topical, right? But it's like,
It's like an annual thing. It like always circles
yeah.
back.
Every time like APs and SATs come out, we have like people a little wave, but it's weird. It's weird. I feel like I've made better videos, right? I feel like honestly the best video I think I've made is probably either the detector from hell or like I love being an American. And yet like yeah, it's the College Board stuff that really takes off. It's hard to
It's
say.
probably similar to like how like musicians have like their favorite and like the actual popular song, you know?
Yeah. Or it's like I hate astrophysics. That's a weird one. Like I don't see why. I thought it was a good video, but like I don't see why that's at 600K. Or like I took an econ class and have my IQ. I don't see why that's at another 600K. I
Hey,
don't.
that's a valid one. That's a valid.
Okay, the econ kids is
I
because
could
I'm
see why that.
rage
I could see
baiting
why
all the
that.
busy econ kids. Yeah, you're
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But the astrophysics one, like that's such a like random. You know, that feels like such a random thing for people to like watch. Uh, it's still growing. Like we're still getting sort of views. I don't understand where the bump is. Yeah, for you guys who are watching right now, presumably you guys also watch Storytime. Like, what was the appeal of I hate astrophysics and like the econ videos, to you guys? What do you think? I don't know. I don't know, chat. Years of rage have built up. Jeffrey, you are the conduit. Uh, Bima. Someone said I also
It's,
sub to Bima. Type shit. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
thank you,
yeah.
thank you. Type shit,
Type
type
shit.
shit.
Type shit. Type shit. Latwin. Also, the April Fool's video solos. Yes, I think my April Fool's video is probably the best one I've ever released, just like in my own opinion. CB blows April. Let's see. Felt so smug when you rip CB a new one. I see. Yeah, I guess like I don't do rant stuff anymore. I'm a little too old to do that, and like I don't feel the stuff I feel really strongly about is maybe stuff I shouldn't say. Like it's not as innocuous as like criticizing College Board anymore. It's stuff that like if I said, people would probably like get me in trouble with my future, employers. Um, Jeff, had you heard that P Diddy's lawyer dropped out of the case? This lawyer had also
Oh yeah, he
defended
did.
Osama bin Laden. What?
Yeah, he did. He did. He
Dude,
did.
how
He
cooked do
did.
you have to be
Said
for
I
the
can't
guy
handle
who
this anymore.
defended bin Laden to say I can't help you?
I think
Oh
he
my
literally said,
god.
"quote I can't handle this anymore" or something like that. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
crazy.
god. He's so cooked.
Hey,
Oh
bro,
my
did you
god.
really think he had a chance? And there was like thousands of bottles of baby oil, like, bro.
Osama bin Laden's
He was
Osama
cooked.
bin Laden, bro. He thought he had a chance with him. Oh
I
my
mean,
god. Mm,
someone had to represent him.
that's true. That's wild. So Russian bias and James Leishman make the point, or not James, sorry. James says physics major, so seeing the astro video is hilarious. I see. People said that like, especially bias, right? Says anger. Anger is sort of like the commonality and why those are popular. You sort of evoke anger in people, and that prompts them to like sort of, that prompts them to engage with the content. So I agree with that, and I think that's why I've been tempted in the past to make lots of rant videos. But I also feel like, you know, I don't know. That's not a sustainable model. I feel like that's very like the rant type stuff. That's like the whole what's his name, grade A under A. That's what he did. I don't know.
Yeah, gray under it.
Yeah. So maybe. I just don't have anything that I really want to rant about outside of my university. That's a hint for what the
So
next
then you
video is.
finna
Yeah. But
gonna explore more.
yeah. I feel like I do need to develop like new types of content, but it's like something that's a little less personal. You know, the streaming is great. Streaming is great because I can just sort of like yap and stuff. But it's like, how do I sort of branch out? Like, what's for example, you guys like what's some like other content that you guys watch on YouTube for all the viewers who are tuned in right now? What do you watch that's like besides like story time? I have some analytics, but it's like YouTube analytics aren't great. If you guys have any sort of insights about like, what you think what's like the overlap in like my audience's interests? I don't know. Also, never doubt the power of Big Chungus at the ending of that one video is fire. Yeah. Actually, I'm still in contact with that professor who I like wrote the Big Chungus code for. So it's a funny little story, but yeah. Actually, it turns out I worked with a girl in that lab, so that was like 7 years ago. And like I saw her at the beginning of this year, at the end of summer, and she apparently has come to my university to do her PhD. This is the first time I'd seen her in 7 years. It was really wild. Ranting and raving Jeffrey archetype is most enjoyable to tune into upon my cellular device. Thank you, Zephyr. I see J-Rag. Yeah, I don't know.
Rags.
We'll keep it sort of keep it in the background. All right, here's another question for you, BMO. What's a skill that you'd like to have that you wouldn't have to put effort into developing? Right? What's something that like if you could just magically have mastery of the skill, what would be cool to have?
you be the pinnacle of that skill?
Yeah, sure. Say like top 5% or something. Like
Top
maybe
5%.
let's say it's like for personal enjoyment rather than like, commercial sort of let's say that you won't make money off of it. It's something purely for your own interest. Or it's just something you think is cool.
Hmm. Maybe something in like skill, or maybe something in like see, I was originally gonna go with like sports because I thought you'd be in the pinnacle and that would be interesting. But if you
Hmm.
can't be like top 5% is, I don't think that's enough to be, cream of the
Alright,
crop.
let's say like
So
top 1%. You will be like a known name within your field.
yeah, I don't know. It might be cool to be an athlete.
That's
I
fair.
don't know.
Yeah. I feel like gymnast, low key.
Any like I don't know. A gymnast, yeah.
If I could just rip like backflips and stuff in public, like
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah, that's
that would
true.
be sick. Like people did it in high school, and
That
it's
would be
like, oh,
cool.
that was kind of cool. Imagine if I'm
Actual
like
speed does it.
40 and a professor, and then like no one's paying it, or like
Like
I show up to
backflip.
class and I do like a double backflip like in front of it. They'll lose their fucking minds, man. Like the older you get, that stuff gets like cooler and cooler if you can keep it maintained when you're older, or like if you're like older, just doing like skateboard tricks or something like that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I think athletic skill would be.
I see. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys to the chatters. I will go through this. Seems like there's. I guess you guys seem to watch the same stuff that I watch. Although nowadays I kind of only watch like Gordon Ramsay, like Kitchen Nightmares, and like I try to spend more time off of YouTube. I had a really bad period where I would like close my YouTube window and then like hit Control T and then like open another YouTube window immediately afterwards. Man, I was so cooked. But I see. We'll think about it. Yeah, I guess like the important thing. Someone mentioned it, right? And it's that I think Russian bias, right? That people like come, I guess, for Jeff, but it's like there are certain avenues or like certain media forums or like types of videos where it's easier to get personality across, compared to others. And so I guess we'll work on trying to find that. But yeah, besides gymnastics, besides sports, what else would be good? I don't know. Swimming, in like the sense of like driving cars.
Swimming.
Like one of the
What if you could
things
just be like a
every time I
really
go
insane?
home.
I feel like.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
There you go. You go.
No, I was saying like every time I go home, man, I like get my mom's like SUV and I just go like whip it down like the interstate. I'm like cutting up between like minivans and stuff, doing like double the speed limit, like 2.5 times the speed limit, just committing felonies left and right. It's great. Like every time, I love it when I can like do that kind of reckless behavior and then like I start a train. I see other people swimming behind me as well. I just encourage it. It's fun. It's really fun. But I'm also like not so great at it. It's not like I've had any close calls, but it's just like, I guess it's because I know when to like slow down. But maybe like race car driver, because I feel like that has some application to like potentially stuff that I'm interested in on the day to day if I have a car. Yeah.
I think drawing skill.
Oh, true. Well, not for me. I feel like my identity is being like physically handicapped when it comes to drawing, but like that would be sick. That would be sick.
Yeah, it would be cool if you could like draw whatever you can think of in your brain. It is interesting,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's a pretty big skill gap.
Or like animators, like
Animating too, that's crazy.
yeah. Zephyr Jackson says felony stream win. Honestly, like I hit 1 million subs. I will go on Turo, rent a Lamborghini, strap a GoPro to the front of it, and then drive it into the first school bus I see at 200 miles an hour. I'll do it. I would take art skills. What else? What's another skill? I feel like, I mean, like they change sort of over time, right? It also
Polyglot
depends.
skills.
Low key. Every time you get into Uber, you can like you just talk to like the driver in their native language. That's pretty sick.
Talk to anybody.
Yeah. Bima and I have a friend, and I guess he was physics here at the university as well, and he was like what? How many languages? Like 13, 14 languages. And like every time,
Yeah, something.
yeah, every time we got in an Uber, you would just be able to talk to like the guy in their native language. I think he like knew like Papua New Guinea, like whatever, and it was just wild. Like that's so cool. So that would be cool. Or if I had to choose one language, I think a language I'd like to learn without putting the effort would be Arabic. I feel like if you learn
Arabic.
like French and you try and speak French to a Frenchman, they'll be offended, or Italian to an Italian person.
Mm.
But if you speak like Arabic, they're like, oh wow, like he actually went out of his way to do this. He's not just like cringe, you know,
Yeah, it's like that one
or like
video of that one
Farsi.
Korean dude who was at the World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you'd be able to stand out a little bit. So I don't know. Jeff car crash stream. Feds are gonna get him in 2 weeks. Adam Something's a channel I watch. Yeah, Adam Something's not bad. I used to watch him, but I've inserted out of it. Maybe I should just stream like Roblox again, like bullying little children. That's what I used to do on Roblox. I'd go on with like my friends. Actually, I think Bima, you know some of them. Gandalf. He's like I guess he's a med student now. He's an MD PhD student. And like we would go on Roblox and just annihilate children on like hobbies. It was great. It was great. Honestly, yeah, I feel like it'd be cool to do some like vlogging type stuff, someone, but it's like that requires my face, Loki, and I don't want to reveal it just yet. I feel like I like the privacy that I have right now as like a not public facing YouTuber. Go to a third world country, say 3 words in their language, and they will begin levitating and doing backflips. Oh no. Oh no, I won't make a comment on that, but Triangular Cosmos asks, do you think you would survive as an engineering major? This is another question for you as well, Bima, but I don't think so. I think part of the reason I like doing physics is I create problems rather than solve them. And so I don't necessarily like, or that like when I do engineering, it's to solve like an interesting problem or get to an interesting like answer. I don't like engineering per se. Engineering is sort of like coding for me. It's just a means to an end. But I don't know. Would you have done like bioengineering, Bima?
Yeah, I feel like I could have done engineering. It's just like
Would you be interested in
I'm
it?
not really too interested because
Yeah.
I'm not too interested in it. But I think like subject matter wise, I mean,
Uh-huh.
definitely doable.
I think so, but it's like I wouldn't. I feel like I wouldn't have the motivation to be like an electrical engineer,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah, definitely not electrical.
or
I don't
like
think I could do
mechanical
electrical.
engineer or something like that. Because it just, or like even like hydrodynamics, whatever. Like, because it just feels like I don't know. There's a lot of approximations from my understanding that get made in engineering, or it's a lot of it is about problem solving, and I don't feel like I get to the same sort of cohesive understanding of like why something works, you know, and that's sort of like what's important to me. And like that's particularly why I chose physics. Is like I like the idea that I can figure out why something works. Um, Engineering is not fun for me, James Leishman said. Yeah, I don't think it's really fun for anyone, to be quite honest with you. I feel like some people just have a really high pain tolerance for it. Um,
Some people just like to tinker, man. They like to be
that's
like,
true.
you know,
Yeah. People who like to tinker, I think, are a good fit
taking stuff
for it.
apart. They like to take stuff apart and put it back together.
Yeah. NBA YoungBoy X Yabba Dabba Doobie remix vid when. Someone should make it. Someone should make it.
Opera version.
Opera version. Apparently, people were at her concert singing opera, which is just some young boy fan or just some like random dude. They probably aren't young boy fans. I think most of the people who are watching this have never actually listened to a young
I
boy
think it's
song.
probably.
Yeah, you know the crazy thing is, young boy has more viewers than her, like more listeners than her. Like not on Spotify. Spotify he's 10 million behind. On YouTube he's 100 million ahead. He's got 100
He
million
runs
more
YouTube,
like
though.
monthly listeners. It's insane on YouTube.
His YouTube streams are like, I think, if not the top, like easily the top.
I think
5.
he's been like the #1 YouTuber for like 8 years now for like artists.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane, absolutely insane. Especially when you consider like the international market, he's just like on top. Let's see, what STEM degree would Vaughn take? I don't know.
Chemistry?
Chemistry?
I don't know.
Would he be like bioweapons? Would he be like, or would he be like missiles?
He synthesize. Like, is he synthesizing poisons, or yeah, is he?
Yeah. Would he be like a sarin gas type guy, Saddam Hussein type beat, or would he be like a, more?
Maybe
sort of Lockheed
maybe he's
Martin?
a psychology.
Psych.
Mm.
He's a psycho, not a psychologist, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Trying to study the psyches of his victims.
I don't think he just hulks him down. I guess like yeah, maybe if that like helped him.
How did he
better
try? How did he
understand.
triangulate them? I don't know.
That's true. I feel like he'd be honestly he might be one of those like King Von could be a CIA plant. He could be like a CIA sleeper agent that got his activation code at the wrong time and then start crashing out instead of like, you know, hunting down like communist sympathizers. Um, Thank you for tuning in, Russian Bias. Adios. It's good having you here. Learning engineering is ass, but designing and building something is interesting, but being a worker for a corpo sucks. That's exactly the point that I feel. It's that, like, I like grad school because at the very least, like, I am not responsible to, like, you know, a manager who's responsible to their manager, who's responsible to the manager above. I respond to my postdoc and my PI, like my professor, and that's it. And then, like, outside of that, I have, like, largely the freedom to do what I want. People says, what's your top advice for people going into physics? Learn math. Just learn math. You gotta learn the math to like do the physics. Learn group theory. Learn diffie-q. Learn linear algebra, and like try and learn them from an actual math perspective. Don't learn them by doing physics, which is what I did. Calc. I will not answer what college my undergrad is in. I don't want anyone doxing me, but I can, you know, I can certainly sympathize as to why you'd want to know. Unfortunately, I'm a bad person, so other people are going to have to come to this school with me and suffer. So, you know, would I build bombs for Lockheed Martin? Not anymore. It seems like they're losing their contracts, man. Like this whole sort of ordeal with the new administration and like canceling defense funding. It doesn't seem like it's a good time. European defense stocks are up, but I think Lockheed was down like 15% last week. It was a disaster. Jeff, are you a PSYOP Fed? Ask Beema. Am I a PSYOP Fed? What do you think? Do you feel like I qualify as like a PSYOP? I feel like I undermine myself too much. I undermine the message too often.
From a viewer perspective, you might be a PSYOP, man.
Low key, I feel like there's been a big change from like I used to criticize like the army and it's like what's it called, the like fucking army esports Discord. I did like a speed run of getting banned off of that. But now it's like I talk about working in government labs and like, you know, what was it? What's the other thing I talked about? Oh, I love being an American. Yeah, it's like maybe I saw all the juicy money the Department of Defense and Department of Energy were like, you know, giving up to
sold your soul.
Research. Yeah, I sold my soul to the DoD. Yeah. Oh man, who knows? Yeah, type shit. It'd be kind of fun to work in government. Like, I don't really want to be a spy, but like, if there was any, like, actually, here's an open-ended question for you, Beema. If you could shadow anybody, right, like any sort of job, right, who would you shadow? Just like hang around them for a day, but you don't have to take responsibilities that they have.
Am I guaranteed not to die?
Yeah. Let's say that. Who are you gonna say? You're gonna say like a fucking Taliban commander or something?
No, not Taliban, or like a cartel leader.
No, he's gonna go watch like a 4-year-old get his head chopped off because his dad didn't make the payments on time. Oh my god.
Okay, but be real for a second, right?
Yeah.
Where can you learn what those situations are actually like? You gotta actually just live it.
I don't want to learn that. I don't want to know what it's like to have like a 3-year-old child's like dismembered limbs like splattered on a mat in front of me. I don't want to see that, bro. Oh my god.
The ones that do that, it's all their henchmen that do that. Like the head is like probably doing some other stuff.
Well, it's boring then. He's just doing paperwork or like, you know, seeing his like hitmen and stuff. I don't know how much you'd actually get to see, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, what would you do?
Like head of what was it? Like top secret projects, either at like a company or like in the military. I want to go to like Area 51 or something. I want to go like shadow Area 51's like, you know, like
Los Alamos.
Officer. Los Alamos isn't that interesting because it's a lot of just like nuclear garbage. Not garbage, but like I have a rough idea of like what nuclear weapons are sort of like. They're like pretty boring. You just maintain them. There's no real developments going on. But like the aerospace people, like they're making like UFOs and shit.
Actually, no, I lied.
Yeah.
I would shadow Kim Jong-un.
Loki, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like the Kim Jong-un one. Yeah. That's what the hell do you think?
I need to know more. Exactly, I need to know more. What's going on? He's not just playing basketball on his court.
He's got Dennis Rodman
He's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shooting hoops with Dennis Rodman.
He's doing something, man. Gotta actually know.
I wonder if his like daily regimen is different from like rulers who are like rulers of like actual countries, you know.
Yeah, I feel like he's just he doesn't have to be diplomatic at all, right? So he can just do whatever the hell he wants. Like
That's true.
there's
Yeah.
and there's no repercussions either because no one's like recording what he's doing.
Yeah. The Q Continuum Pi says children are the reason I can't go into medicine. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
You don't want to see them suffer.
Oh, I thought he meant he was gonna diddle them, but maybe that's a more charitable interpretation of that. Um,
So I can sympathize with that if it's that.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to work with kids.
Wait,
too.
what?
I
What
wouldn't
do you
work with kids.
mean? What do you mean?
Even just in general though, like not even just like
Oh, if it's like
they're
them getting
suffering.
hurt, yeah, yeah.
Even if it's not them having like cancer and stuff, I can
Oh, it
just don't want to
sucks,
deal
man.
with kids.
It definitely sucks. I've talked to some like friends' parents who are doctors, and one of them like dropped out of neurosurgery to become just a regular neurologist because he couldn't stand like operating on kids, and he was just like it's so much pressure, and it's like it constantly weighs on your soul that like. Like if you mess up, like, there's a chance that you mess up. You can't save everyone, but it's still like, if something gets away from you, it's like, that's something you don't live down. And that's really sort of like, that eats at you in a way that I don't think very many other things do. Yeah. Someone is talking about a 40 millimeters Bofors autocannon. I'm sure you could probably penetrate the lower glasses of a KV-1. Or honestly, just the side of the turret. If you manage repeated hits, like AP shells have gotten a lot better these years, or like since World War II. Anyways, problems with Shadow, my boy Saddam. I know he survived. Is Saddam alive? Who's
No, he hot guy.
Wait, is Saddam like who is the Syrian Bashar al-Assad? No, Bashar al-Assad's still alive. I don't know what Saddam's up to. He got slimed, didn't he, on like national television?
Yeah, Saddam Hussein died a while ago. Yeah, he's been dead.
Didn't they like chop his body up on like national television or something crazy?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's find this. We're gonna stream Saddam's execution live on Storytime with Jeff.
Saddam.
Let's see.
Gaddafi.
Political. Where's his execution? Oh, executed by hanging in public. Yeah.
It was on.
They just hung him in the middle of the city. that's crazy.
Type shit.
Yeah. Type shit. Nonchalant syndrome. For those of you who are just joining, I'm here with Bima. This is one of my good friends from university. He got his channel linked below, So if you like sort of what you're hearing today, be sure to check him out. Type shit. Jeff Coyne when? I'm not big enough to rug pull my audience and absolutely abandon them yet, right? The whole point is that like once you do that, you can never go back. Like Hawk Tua girl can never go back. Like her podcast's worthless now because of her like Hawk Tua coin, right? And so it's like I gotta wait until I get like 5 million or something, and then like I get some sponsorship deals. Once I've made like a couple million, not even a couple million. Once I made like 500K, yeah, I'll just start rug pulling. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's all part of the YouTuber cycle. It's either this or like start doing Minecraft and start touching kids. So I mean, like, there's really like no good way out for a YouTuber. Like, I don't know. Or you could just retire like PewDiePie. But again, he's like one in like 10,000.
Yeah, you gotta go to PewDiePie. Yeah, you gotta go to PewDiePie route.
Yeah, I don't know. Statistics aren't in my favor. It seems like it will be one of the other more destructive routes. Yeah. What is Hawk Tua? Panzer 4 asked. Panzer, you have been living under a rock, and I suggest you go back under it. This is not something you want to learn about. Yeah, I'm gonna rug $10 max. There's a crypto site. I think it was like crypto.fun or something. It was really like quite fun. I don't know. You had like there was a live stream function, and there were kids who would just like absolutely demolish people there. Like there was like one 12-year-old who like rug pulled people for like a total of like $130,000.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
And there's another guy who was like, he had a coin called no arms, so no rug. And then he just like stood with his arms behind his back for like an hour. And then once it hit like 100K market cap, he rugged everyone. He like put his arms out, he pulled them out, and then he just rugged everyone. It was one of the funniest shits I've ever seen. Oh my god. Yeah. When is your lazy ass putting each channel's content on the other alternate life form? I want to keep them separate. I feel like my live streaming audience and then like the regular channel audience should largely be separate. But it would be nice to get more viewers. I don't know. I'll probably try pushing coffee time a little bit harder on story time, but I also gotta make content for story time. So I don't know. I want to try and keep them separate. Yeah. I did think about merch for a while. I guess it's kind of tangentially related to what you guys are talking about, but I will save merch for like if I hit like 250K or something, or like 100K, and I like have a more consistent upload schedule. Like if I can do once a month, then I'll drop merch. Otherwise, I don't think it's like being very fair to people. Unemployed Jeff activities. What do you think is the most unemployed? Like, what's the biggest hallmark of being unemployed, Bima? What's like something that if you do, like you're just undoubtedly unemployed?
This time, humanities major probably.
Mm-hmm. Would you say humanities major? Yeah.
Yeah, humanities major. I mean, you're saying it's like a hallmark. I mean, it's. I think it's a pretty good predictor, but
Yeah. Hmm. Hard to say. Hard to say.
it's like the ability to like leverage off of just that and then be relatively successful is probably much harder than shilling your life for corporate and doing something else.
Yeah, that's true. Jeff, do you remember Fallen Chungus baby shirt? Let's do that. I've never heard of this before. Fallen Chungus baby shirt. Fallen Chungus is threatening to kill himself on Twitter. I have absolutely no clue what you're talking about, chat. But we should get more people. I need to get the haircut today. Maybe 5. Sorry. I'm trying to organize something. Love corporate chilling. Would you multi-stream coffee time on a different platform than YouTube? No, I don't like Twitch. I don't know why. I just like, I've heard other people have bad experiences with Twitch, and like, my personal experience was okay with it. It's just like, I don't know. It seems like I understand YouTube better. I don't want to spread myself too thin and go to Twitch as well. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, what happened to DT Cars and Matt Carvin? DT Cars promised me he'd make content. I literally,
DT
at our
Cars.
graduation, I cornered him and I was like, are we going to see more stuff? And he's like, yeah, I got tons of stuff in the works. Then he got an actual job. So,
DT cap. DT cap.
DT cap. Everyone go to DT Cars' comment section right now. I'll do it. I'll do
DT cap.
it. We're all going to comment DT cap. All right, how do I screen share? How do I screen share? Mac OS screen capture. Just for now. We're gonna go to youtube.com. DT Cars. We're all gonna go comment DT Cap under all of his videos. DT Cap. Can't believe he'd do his fans like this, chat. It is just so disappointing. See, look at this, 7 months ago, shout out Matt Carbon and his cousin Matt Rosso-Floco. After we gave him all the support, man, DT Cap never came back. Hashtag, I can't car. I don't know, what the hell do people say these days? I can't say I can't goon, that doesn't make sense in this content. Sorry, I know I'm only sharing part of my screen, but it's just so you guys know what to do. It's just so you guys know what to do. Let me hit him with Be sure to do that, chat. Be sure to do that. If you don't, I'm kicking you out of my chat. I'm banning you from the channel.
Cap.
DT cap. DT cap indeed. Why is it now all of a sudden? The Vietnam thing? Oh, it's probably because I was screen sharing both that and the regular ambience. Anyways, that'd be really funny. You just turn it into a war zone. Multi-stream on Kick and OF. Absolutely not. I don't want to interact with those platforms at all if I have a chance. We miss you, DT Cars. James asks, is graduate school a good idea? Depends what major you are. If you're an engineer, I don't think you really need it. You should probably get a master's instead of a PhD. If you're like hard science, right, like physics, bio, chem, I think it's probably worth it. That's how you like sort of do the most interesting work. I don't know. If you're like med, I mean, obviously if you're pre-med, you go to med school. But yeah. Let's see. Is there any other questions I missed? I don't think so. I wish I was aborted, PanzerKampfwagen 7 says, or 4 says. I'm really sorry to hear that, twin. Yeah, this is the second time you've asked my opinion on soy jacks. I don't know, I like them. I draw them in my videos. Do you not see? I like half of my like thumbnails and stuff involve a soy jack, I feel like, in like recent memory. I don't know. Live streamer. But yeah. God, I used to stream for 4 hours. I don't know how the hell am I gonna do that? I don't think we're gonna hit 4 hours today. I like low-key need to go get a haircut within like an hour or so. Jeff, $1 million or DT cap back shots. I don't know. What would you take, Beema? What would you take?
I'm not taking the back shots.
Well, how about we'll sweeten the deal? Holy patriarch young boy and you know, bum ass like baby daddy Playboy Cardi back shots are $1 million. Playboy Cardi drops I Am Music tonight or $1 million. Right. Dude, that Cardi stuff is crazy. He was playing PS5 or something. He was like playing GTA when his son was born. He's such a bum.
He was playing PS4 with Lil. He was playing PS4 with Lil.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's wild, man. Joseph Reap says makes a good point. If you're doing engineering, don't get a master's unless you absolutely need it. Sometimes companies will pay for you to get your master's. Yeah, I forget masters are self-funded. Usually you have to pay for a master's. If you can get a fellowship, it's worth doing it. Obviously, if you have to pay out of pocket for it, I think it's considerably less worthwhile. I say that like because I'm a PhD student, and PhDs like I get funded, so I get paid for it. I think calc. If I tell you what what field my grad research in, it's also going to be pretty easy to narrow me down. So we'll just say physics. It's like a small community that I work in. So I love engineering, never sleeping and crying. Well, I love physics, never sleeping and crying. So we're in the same boat, buddy. I Am Music released on February the 30th. Did you see the video of him getting pulled over doing like 124 miles an hour? No way. Cardi did this?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. There's a couple of videos. There's
Cardi, he's like, how old is he?
He's probably 27 now, maybe 28.
28, man. He's got a kid. What is he doing? Cardi's speeding.
There's that one video where he ran into a fan after the
133. That's wild. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. What'd you say?
There was a video where he got arrested for speeding, and he's in like the police, like essentially he's like in the police house where they're trying to like make him wait before they actually do, fill out paperwork and stuff. And there's a fan with them, and the fan's like, "Yo, you're Playboy Cardi. I'm a big fan." And this guy's just like aura farming, just staring out the window, like not looking at just ignoring this fan next to him. It's the funniest shit ever.
He's funny. He's really funny. I'll give you that.
He's just like looking to the side. He's like, I do not know what is going on. Like, I do not know this guy.
It would have been much better if he was just like beating him over the head and like screaming at him to like drop I Am Music, drop it now. Yeah. Oh my god. More the merrier. I don't know. Who else has been like sort of the biggest disappointment as like an artist? Trippie Redd fell off really hard, I feel like. But I don't know who else is like really falling off. Yeah. Sam's gang. Jeff is the best physicist. I'm definitely not. What about CS major? Is it worth? I don't know. CS is hard. I feel like if you just like learn programming, it's definitely not. If you can like learn like AI models, oh, that's the hot topic.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like, you like really push yourself. If you get to the high end, like, yeah, you control everything beneath you. It's crazy. Iggy is a meme coin influencer right now, which is just honestly insane. Super VG Alex says. What do you mean by that? Is Iggy like a meme coin person?
Iggy Azalea?
I feel I haven't heard anything out of her in the last like 10 years. What is she up to these days?
I haven't heard about her since she posted a picture with her and Playboy Cardi's son's birthday with him not being there.
Yeah. She's not returning to music. She is now more time to work on business ventures like OnlyFans, beauty projects, and crypto. Oh no.
Ironically, she probably made so much money off of like the few like viral hits she had in music.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I know.
Iggy Azalea says she hasn't heard from baby daddy Playboy Cardi in months. Crypto will have ass. Iggy Azalea makes no apologies for cringe party. What does this mean? She's a meme coin creator. he threw a party for her crypto coin mother in Singapore last Friday.
What?
What are we talking about?
What is the lore? What is the lore?
So it dropped. Actually, it's not even like that low right now. It's like 80% of like what it was originally. Lido stacked ETH. I don't understand crypto shit. It's horrible. Azalea hired 36 women to dance on stage and with attendees. Uh, onlookers slammed what they saw as the party's degeneracy. Oh, you're abusing people. That's hilarious. Somebody replied to a partygoer dry humping one of the hired dancers. Set crypto's reputation back a decade or so. I mean, the only people who like actually work with crypto are all degens, though, right? So it's like, oh my god, what a disaster. We're not showing that on stream. It's like everyone who engages with crypto is a degen. There are no sort of altruists, no Sam Altman, Bankman, whatever his name was, SBF like types anymore. It's just like speculators going in. You just got vultures. That's it. Can I raise my mic volume? Yeah, definitely. Sorry, it's a bit low. Yeah. God, even the CS building smells. Honestly, I don't know. Like, this is a bet I had with other people in my PhD cohort. It's like you can always tell what department someone belongs to based on the way they dress. And we were trying to figure out like which departments were the easiest to identify by dress. And I think it's probably CS and like econ. Like the CS kids all look a little bit like, it's just like random sweater, slacks, or like jeans, and like a little bit like unwashed, unshaven. And the econ kids have to wear like suit jackets everywhere they go. But what else? I mean, are there any other departments that you feel like are really easy to just like pinpoint?
I think those two are probably the easiest because they're just like,
Yeah.
at least the business people. The business people is really easy because
Yeah.
all like the attire, the attire.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Kind of just a mixed bag though. There's a lot of mixed bag ones.
It's wild when you go to like a social event that's supposed to be for grad students, and then like all the econ kids are dressed up like it's a recruiting fair. It's so strange. Oh man, God, I'm really surprised. I had Taco Bell before this, and I have like yet to like drop a nuclear disaster in my toilet. So the last time I only say that because the last time I did a stream, I also ate Taco Bell immediately before, and I was like on the toilet 10 minutes before the stream was starting, like fighting for my life, trying to get it all out on time. But
Victorian child versus 5-layer beefy Frito burrito.
honestly, yeah, with like the fire
Do you
sauce.
think? Yeah. Do you think they would? They'd be fine.
I mean,
They
they ate
survived.
rotten meat back then, right? They would
That
eat,
is
eat
true.
like borderline garbage. I don't think they had a concept of spice though. If you gave them like some peppercorn sauce or something like that, I feel like they'd lose their minds.
It would be like, what's my?
Honestly, yeah. If you gave them like I feel like if you gave them like a Taco Bell like Doritos Locos Tacos, except it was made out of like Taki instead of like Doritos, I feel like that would be like annihilation. You would like exterminate that child.
If we're going pre-toilets, that would actually just suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, can you imagine that? Like, and you have to like just drag the bucket
No.
out and like chuck it.
Can you
Like,
imagine?
oh, that would be horrible.
Living good times.
Chat, remember, Jeff didn't wash his hands. Piss time with Jeff. No! You guys didn't hear it. It was in another room. Obviously, the flushing is louder than the fucking
my
hand
god, I was
washing.
there for that. I was
Oh
there for
my
that. I remember
god.
this. I do
Oh
remember
my
this.
god. I'll never live it down. I'll never live it down. What a disaster. Jeff, do you remember the other time when you went to the bathroom on stream? I do. And I remember washing my hands. God, you guys will never leave me alone for that, ever. Finance with Patagonia vest. Yeah, the Patagonia vest is another one, and light blue dress shirts and loafers. Apparently, I've heard this, like, I saw it on, like, Instagram or something. But, like, the reason light blue dress shirts are a thing is all because of James Bond. And it was, like, there was some president who, like, watched, like, James Bond and thought that was, like, cool, and then they're like, oh, yeah.
BM common.
So, I don't know. It's pretty cool though. I mean, like that's so crazy that like one movie franchise had such a large impact on the culture. You know, nowadays you can't think of anything that has that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Is there anything like nowadays, like movie wise, that like has that kind of like a grip on the culture?
The Marvel franchise did for a while. I think it's unleashed the
Oh,
grip
low
of it these
key.
last few years.
But that's like cringe. Like no one thought Marvel was cool. You know what I mean? It was like,
Fast and Furious? You think Fast and Furious originally, at least?
I don't know. Fast and Furious was how I got into
Got
cars,
milked
so
though.
like maybe, but
Yeah,
like
then it got milked.
yeah, it got milked too hard. I want
The
to
original
say
like
yeah, the original like four maybe
four, yeah, I think four,
four
yeah.
or five ish somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah, hard to say. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know if there's any franchise that really sticks around. I think the problem with Marvel is that it got like, you know, it got morphed with the Disney crowd. You know, like
Yeah,
what's
that's
is a Marvel adult worse than a Disney adult? Like what's actually worse? I don't know who I'd like rather sit. Who would you rather sit next to on a 12-hour flight? Marvel adult, Disney adult?
I'm going Marvel.
Really? But the Marvel adult
I
has
think
access. Let's say that the TV has Marvel movies,
I
but
think
doesn't have
Marvel
Disney movies.
I
So
think
they're going to be
Marvel
talking about
adults are
Marvel movies.
mainly aren't Marvel adults mainly like comic book nerds from back in the day that just have always been,
Are they,
you
or are
know,
they like the
interested.
GameStop like Funko Pop types? Like I don't think it's like they've always been invested with it. I feel like it's like the single like you know bachelor bachelorette you know empty house you know hoarder with like you know disgusting personal hygiene.
Yeah, I don't know
I
then.
just I have a thing
Uh,
against them apparently,
I'll
but
be
like
honest. I don't think I've watched a Disney. I don't think I've watched a Disney movie in I don't even
yeah
know how long.
yeah I don't think I've
But
watched a Disney
I don't even
movies
know.
in a long time.
I don't know what they'd even be talking about if they're talking
Chat
about like
is
newer
going
stuff.
ape shit. Jeff is not beating the allegations. Jeff, don't listen to them. We heard the water from the sink. It's just that Mike didn't pick up too well. That's exactly. Mike was for real conspiring against you by picking up the piss stream, but not the sink water. Jeff not washing his hands was my personal 9/11. Jeff, Mike is an op. Get him locked up. Free my boy, piss Jeff. Oh no, for real,
Voice
sue that
suppression.
mic. Just slide it in. No, none of this. Just slide it in again. No. Absolutely not. There's Dune now. I don't feel like Dune has like a large cultural impact. Like
I was thinking
obviously a
about
lot of
Dune, but
people. Sorry, go ahead. I completely interrupted you. What did you say?
no, you're good.
I was like, I don't think Dune has the kind of cultural impact that we're talking about that like James Bond did. Like a lot of people are invested in it, but like Dune doesn't determine like fashion. It doesn't determine how people act in sort of the real world. It's just like a popular like sort of movie franchise that people talk about. In the same way like The Office is, but people don't. I guess The Office influences people's humor and stuff. You know what I mean?
I think Star Wars is a valid one.
Oh, Star Wars for sure for a while. That shit was heat. Yeah, but that's like before our
Yeah.
time. Honestly, that's like '90s, right?
We
Like
we were like
original
prequel
trilogy.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piss time with Jeff. No, absolutely not. Depends what I mean by a Marvel adult. I don't know what it's like. I feel like this maybe goes back to like a very early talking point we had in the stream, which was that like people who have like singular interests, people who like dedicate like not necessarily their lives, right? I think people who are like savants who like spend their entire life doing one thing are pretty cool. But people whose personality is determined by one or like two things are always insufferable people. Like it doesn't matter if it's your work or like one of your interests outside of work. If you only have one or two interests, like you are guaranteed to be someone who like is just impossible to be around. And I think that's like that's how you determine Marvel adult, Disney adult, whatever. Like these archetypes are these people like they dedicate themselves to like one of these things. Um, I don't know. I feel like people should have diversified interests. You should be interested in many things. You should want to know about many things. And you don't have to like read about everything. You don't have to be sort of like, you know, culturally literate or whatever, you know, the pretentious term is. But like you should have interest in a lot of things. It shouldn't just be like one franchise, one company, whatever. Gaming and YouTube and memes create the culture instead of Hollywood, not gonna lie. That's true, yeah. I feel like the vectors for like culture spreading is like yeah, maybe it's all on social media now.
The internet, yeah.
Yeah. Um, RIC Flipnote has more of a cultural impact than Hollywood in the last year. Yeah, Let's Go Gambling. That was a great one. Zephyr Jackson asks, who's down to private The Office RP? Oh, for private The Office RP. No, I thought you were gonna say pirate. No, absolutely. There's no role playing in my Discord server. Although someone did release the entirety, like I forget what movie it was, but someone released like a 2 hour 1080p version of like a movie that had come out that day, and they just like dropped it in my Discord general chat. It was wild. Someone also smoked like crack rocks on my Discord, like when I was I think 17. Like I opened it up and like somebody was smoking crack on there, which was great. There's been a lot of weird things in my Discord. They've been banned. I think we have video chat turned off now because of that. So, yeah. Did Men in Black make a suit and shades more popular? Dude, Men in Black was low key heat. I like rewatched like all three of them over the summer, and that was like kind of gas. Did you ever watch those films? Oh, I think we might have lost him. Rip. You there, Bima? Oh, dead ass. Did you get disconnected? Say something?
Me?
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, you're good. You're good. We got him. We got him. All right. He's back. He's back. He's back.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jeff pretending like he reads the Discord. I don't.
No,
I
I've seen.
literally don't check the Discord. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
The first one.
Oh, you're definitely cutting out, bro. It might be my. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or yours, but like your icon's not even flashing on the Discord. It's not even flashing green. Oh, he DC'd. Rip. Rip. Let's win.
Yo.
Yeah, he's back. He's back. Okay. Yeah. 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 So Men in Black. Men in Black. What's your opinion?
Oh yeah, I've only seen the first movie,
Oh, type shit.
so
Yeah.
I don't have a full series opinion. But
Hmm.
you're saying, are we going back to like influence?
Yeah. 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 I mean, like, I feel like I don't know. Again, this is one of those things where like I feel like if you weren't there in the moment, it's kind of hard to say what.
Yeah, you can
sort
say
of
The
influence it
Matrix if
had.
you're saying Men in Black
Yeah.
2 then.
Uh. Yeah. I don't know. Men in Black 2. Which one was Men in Black 2? Uh, is that the one where it's like the woman who's like a bunch of snakes or whatever?
S- I think.
Maybe, maybe. Just love the ambience, man. Love the ambience. Maybe cooked, but isn't Men in Black the movie that has vor? Yeah, the opening scene of Men in Black 2, or whatever one has the snake woman, has vor. That is true. Yeah. Uh, let's see. I want suits less casual.
Here's
wear, like
something.
1900s. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you think that? Okay, well, I guess this is a hard. This is like kind of open-ended, but do you think movies as form of media are slowly going to die as humans have started to really engage in short form content? Like, I know there's certain creators nowadays like Christopher Nolan that make like good actual like long movies like standalone,
Yeah.
but do you think it'll last like another, I don't know, 20, 30 years?
That's a hard one.
Also, like, do you think there will be movies that are like not are really popular that are standalone that aren't adapted from previous things? You could
Ooh.
say Dune is pretty popular recently too, but that's adapted from the Frank Herbert novel, and then technically Oppenheimer and stuff is all like adapted from like, real events.
That's true. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think it will exist. I just
I
think
don't
the
know. This
niche is
is
going to get carved smaller and smaller, just like books, you know?
yeah, yeah.
And like it will even the movies will tend to like cater more towards that short form audience. In the same way that I feel like a lot of books have
Like, do
the
you
last couple of
yeah?
years. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that like theaters? I think there was a rebound after COVID, but do you think that they're actually going to come back like in full strength?
I think they
I
are.
think some movies
They're kind of
are right
back.
because I think some movies didn't they like do streaming for movies like stream releases at one point?
I think
think
so,
during
but that was
COVID.
like a COVID like panic thing because they weren't making money. I think now it's just a matter of like
Yeah,
people still like going to the movie theater. It's like a very American thing. It's like an experience that you like get
that's true. I
ready,
wonder
you
how it
get
is
up.
internationally.
Yeah, I think it's still a big thing internationally for sure. I mean, like even with streaming, it's just like, you know, I don't know. Like you could listen to in the same way that people could listen to music, or you can go to a concert, right? Somehow it's a little bit more maybe for classical music. I mean, for like regular,
Intimate.
like rap and stuff, it's like a big thing. But like there's some sense of occasion or like something special about going to a movie theater. And like nowadays, the prices are pretty reasonable. It's like $10 for a ticket, like 15 for a ticket. Like if you go with like 6, 7 friends, like it's a good excuse to like go and do something. It's just something to do. Outside of that, yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of just something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I think the digital internet age, our imagination has suffered. People don't cut grass anymore. I think so. There's
That
a
is
good
true.
book. It's called yeah. I guess I've been pestering fucking Bima to read this, but it's called what's it called? Amusing ourselves to death. And like the general argument, it's kind of whiny. The guy's complaining that like kids these days at the age of television don't know anything about how hard it was to read. Um, but it's like,
That's another thing. I read.
yeah. Oh, go
Reading
ahead.
levels are cooked. Reading
Oh, they're
levels are cooked,
so
man.
cooked, man. Do you see there was some
Now they
girl
mention
who
that.
was like suing the New York like school board or something because it was like she didn't know how to read. She was illiterate, and they just like kept passing her and like never put her into special needs class. That's so scuffed for her. Like, and she's in college too as well. I don't know how the hell you get into college like being illiterate, but like apparently it's possible. It's so cooked. Um, Ultimate life
Yeah.
form, you're gonna get banned if you keep asking these questions. Oh my god. Yes, you will get kicked. Mother trucker. You will get kicked out if you goon during the villager edging scene. I don't know. All right, I gotta go and blow my nose. I'll be back. Oh.
He's gonna go take a piss, guys.
Oh my god. My fucking back. I'm a cripple.
I was gonna say maybe we could hear you piss again.
I was half thinking, like, should I create another controversy so I get viewers? That's the kind of stuff you gotta do, man. Just kind of sacrifices
farming.
you gotta make as a YouTuber. We definitely need third spaces, not work or home, but places like bowling alleys, bars. Yeah, for people to meet and hang out. That's a really interesting one. And it's like something I feel like the biggest absence in suburban America, what makes like
A
going back to
mall.
the suburbs for me, yeah. It used to be the mall, right? And then like now the mall's dead, right? Like what is it now? There's nothing. It's like little cafes, but like cafes don't really exist in suburbia. It's like some boba shop that's like attached to, a McDonald's or something, right? Or like attached to a Walmart. There is no third space, right? There's no sort of not work home space in suburbia, and I think that's what's really disappointing. We used to have community centers, back in the day. Or like, yeah, I guess it used to just be community centers. There's sort of nothing anymore. The mall used to be the substitute. Um, I guess for me, when I'm like back home and what I did in high school is I just go out, I just go walk in the woods and stuff. Um, but
Big shit.
yeah, this is something that like the Russians thought about a lot, or the Soviets rather. They made a lot of explicit planning for like, trying to find social spaces that existed outside of the home and like the work. And like that was partially because they thought that these places would be places where you could learn about good socialist thought. But it's also like, I think it is important. I think that's one of the true greatest tragedies of like living in suburbia. I don't know. What do you think, Bima? Because you also like grew up in a kind of suburban area, right? So.
I think for me it's just like restaurants and stuff. That's
Oh,
like
Loki, yeah,
their space now. I don't know.
yeah. I feel like I'd meet friends at restaurants, or like we drive out of our way to a mall somewhere, and that was it, though, right? I feel like there wasn't really anything besides that.
There's not much.
Yeah, yeah. Or like we'd go back to like the high school after hours or something, and like I think
Mm.
that's probably or like the local college. campus. Hands were not washed. Leave me. I fucking sneezed, man. I sneezed. Do I need to wash my hands when I sneeze? Oh my god. More story times or I'm a crash out. I promise you. I don't know how long you've been here, Dash, but like, I mentioned at the beginning that like there is a story time episode in the works. Bima seen the script. It'll be dropping in probably week after next or next week if I can really get my stuff together. But I just need to draw the frames, and it takes me like 4 hours to draw the frames. So, yeah. Let's see. Hands were not washed. Yeah. Old life word, Jeff. Do not let Dash crash out. We need to stop them. Yeah. Hands were not washed. Leave me alone, chat. Oh yeah, for those of you who are just joining us, we're here with Bima, chatting with Bima. He's one of my friends from undergrad. We suffered through the same horrible experience. So, you know, if you like what you see here, be sure to check out his channel. It's pinned in the description. You know, he's our foremost expert on aura, gooning, and not washing your hands.
Not
so.
gooning.
Take a look. Take a look.
Type shit.
Yeah, bowling alleys and skating rinks have closed in my area. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm like driving through my hometown sort of in the back of my mind, and I'm thinking about like what is within like, you know, 10 miles of like where I live that I could do. Like my parents actually bought like a little plot of land on like a farm, and like they work that in the summer, so I'd do that. And then like besides that, you know, I'd just go walk. I'd go walk, I'd go hike like in the woods, because there's no hills where I live. It's just flat. You just go walk in the woods and see if you can find a river. It's always fun to try and find a river.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some real like nomad shit. But like, yeah, I can't think of anything like some sort of meeting place. What else would it be? What else like would be a kind of meeting place in your mind, Bima?
Gym.
I guess I didn't have commercial gyms near where I lived. I just used the school one. I guess like sometimes like supermarkets and stuff, or like little community markets. We had like one of those like small like local like not grocery stores. It was almost like a bodega, and it had like a little sandwich like shop built into it, and like that's where kids would meet. Or I guess you just go to someone's house, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah,
like,
that too.
You just go to someone's house.
That's easy. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, house parties and shit. Yeah, I mean honestly, like you'd be really hard pressed to find something that's not like a grocery store, or a restaurant, or like. Yeah, the only other thing would be a mall, right? There's nothing else. I can't even think of like a karaoke place. I have to drive like about 15 miles to get to like a karaoke place or something. Or anything special like that. There's very few places to do activities in the suburbs, right? I guess like, you know, in the city you have like maybe escape rooms, you have mini golf places, you have like I guess a lot of it's just bars and shit though, or like shopping. But I guess that does kind of exist as a third space. I don't know. I think that's one of the things I really disliked about our university was that we don't have a student center. Like a lot of universities, even private ones, you know, they have like some sort of center for the students to like, you know, do some sort of bowling, or like they have some activities. You know, one of my friends went to a state school, and they had like I said, like they had a bowling alley in like the basement of their student center, where they have like computers and stuff that you can like, you know, just use with your student ID. So LMA, I guess it's Target. Yeah, low key, I feel like I've met with friends at like supermarkets before, or like, you know, not supermarkets. Is Target a supermarket? I guess how do you define Target? Is it technically called a supermarket? I was always under the impression that market implied that it had to sell like groceries or something. Supermarket. Yeah. I don't know. What do I do for work now? Dash asks. I'm a grad student, so I'm unemployed. Is Discord and games in general a third space? I think that's kind of what's replaced like a lot of physical meetings. You're right. Is just like when there's no physical meeting spots. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times I just chat with my friends on like online, or I play a game with them. I mean, that's certainly what I did in college, to like hang out with friends like back home and stuff. Ultimate life form. I'm not even gonna read your comment out loud. You can sit by yourself and think about that one, buddy. You know, you should ponder what you just said and think that your words have consequences. You know. Jesus, man. Even now, I'm trying to think, like, you know, around our university, Bima, do you feel like there's anywhere that sort of acts like that third space? I guess like the bars, the pubs, right? But there's no like
Yeah.
student center. I guess like if you're part of one of those like groups,
That
like
we
you're.
have
Uh-huh.
we have like a quote unquote student center, but it's like underground, one small room that nobody ever goes
Oh,
into.
you mean like where the student council is, like under the dining hall, like where it's right next to the bathrooms?
Uh, type shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm trying to give too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's lame as fuck. That doesn't even count. Like it's literally just another room that I have to walk past on my way to
Basically
the
the point
bathroom.
is there's like
Uh-huh.
basically the point is it's not even like close to other like
Uh-huh.
huge school like buildings facilities that have entire I guess there's a bunch of resources dedicated to helping students entertain themselves outside of just school activities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dash asks, what do I do, or how much do you got left in grad school? Probably 6 years, man. My PhD. Physics PhDs take a long time. Target. Okay, now that we're on the topic, right? If you could, like, choose a location, right? And let's say you had to meet someone for a date. What's the absolute worst place you would meet someone for a date? What's the least appropriate place to meet someone for a date, Bima?
The least appropriate
Bima.
space.
Yeah, oh, sorry, not Bima. O Block.
Um,
Like, I don't know. Like, if you said, like, let's meet up here and then we'll go do something. Or,
does
like,
it
let's
have
do
to be?
something
Does
here.
it have to be like a closed? Does it have to be an enclosed building? It doesn't have to be like.
No,
It
it
can't be
could be a
open
space. It could be a space. You, like, you know, in the same way that you could say, let's meet at a park,
And then you can just go to
right?
like a war zone.
Send them to Baghdad. Well, I mean, like, let's say in the U.S.,
Yeah.
like a space that exists, you know, some sort of thing that exists within most cities, right? I mean, so like a prison would be a valid answer, right? And then you can like pretend to
A
come out of
strip
the
club.
prison. Yeah. So it's a Hooters and Goon Cave. Those are synonyms, Joseph and Philip. I think you guys are both on the same track. We have
I don't think
student
you'd want to
union.
date
That's
at a
really a
strip
food court and just some small
club.
faculty things. We don't even have. I guess we kind of do have a food court. It's pretty lame though. Strip club, yeah. An abandoned mall. Abandoned malls are cool. One of the things I really wanted to get into was like urban exploration, you know, and then like all the people on like Instagram and TikTok ruined it. Some of my friends from high school would just like go into mental asylums and shit, and they just like walk around. And that shit was crazy, man. Or like abandoned like mansions. That's wild. You ever done any stuff like that, Bima?
I don't think I've ever been in like abandoned houses. No.
Yeah.
No.
I've like been to an abandoned power plant once, but that was like it's like a kind of a
Been to an
tourist
abandoned
attraction.
store, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Chernobyl.
yeah. Chernobyl, yeah. Someone said under a bridge littered with syringes. Okay, you redeemed yourself ultimate life form. That's kind of funny. What do you?
Going to Skid Row. That's
Skid
good.
Row, yeah. Shout out to Skid Row. Meet in front of the Fenty dealer. Code Reaper says Jeff. Worst place to meet someone for a date is definitely Baltimore, especially Belvedere Square. I don't know. I am not familiar with that, but you know, I'll take your word for it. I mean, it's Baltimore, right? I mean, you could also say the same thing. You go to Detroit, you go to fucking you know, San Francisco, downtown
Memphis.
LA. Yeah. You should just tell them to like park their very expensive cars street side in like San Francisco. Just get shaved. Yeah. Yeah. Does Bima drive a Beamer? Does Dash ask the question.
Benz or Bentley.
Yeah,
Mm.
Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. Benz. Yeah. Or Gary, Indiana, from my very brief glimpse of it.
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, let's meet in Gary, Indiana. That's a good one if you have to make it.
Gary, Indiana is like
Yeah.
empty factories and shit, dude. It's like ghost town vibes.
Yeah. I've seen documentaries about it, and it's like, I cannot believe that place exists. It's so sad. The Steel City Storm.
And that Michael Jackson came from there.
Did he actually?
Yeah, he was
No
born
way.
in Gary, Indiana.
Jesus Christ, he sucked the life out of that place. Dude, instead of like producing normal people, like, you know, he took all of the luck out of Gary for the next like century. Like, no wonder they're fucked. Wow, they produced a generational talent at the cost of like the entire city. That's a pretty valid, you know, sacrificing Gary to get Michael Jackson. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do. Yeah. Chris
For real.
Chan's house, Philip Bedrosian says. I had a
Oh my
chance to
god.
drive past Chris Chan's house. Like, not his house, but I had a chance to drive past where he lived. And it was one of my biggest regrets. I was with my parents, so I didn't actually, like, go, like, to his house. But, like, I saw Piedmont, like, the PVCC, whatever, like, the Piedmont Valley Community College. I saw it. I saw it. And I was like, this is almost a pilgrimage. But, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Jeff, I shall let you know your absence has so long this time that I've spread to a British YouTuber. I don't know what that means, Ultimate Life Form, but I wish you well. Man, I'm surprised you guys have stuck around for a while. I mean, we still have like 30 viewers. That's like more than we started the stream with. So, thanks for sticking around, guys. I don't know. It's not good practice to ask the audience if what they want to hear, but like, yeah, if there's anything you want us to talk about, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. I feel like that's what big streamers do, right? They just like see stuff their chat drops them, and then they just like watch a video for 15 minutes.
Mods feed them stuff.
Yeah, it's the mods. True. Yeah. Are there any streamers? Are these streams a weekly thing? Dash asked. Probably not. Weekly is kind of hard. I don't have that much time. Maybe like once a month. I can definitely do streams more often than I do videos, but remains to be seen how often it will be. I kind of like low-key need to get out of my classes first. I need to finish all my classes before I can consistently stream, so it'll probably be another year. I would never leave you, Jeff. Thank you, Philip. You're great. I appreciate you. Deadass just realized Bo was streaming. Well, thank you, 51 Inky, for tuning in. It's fun chatting with Jeff. Yeah. Type shit. Let's win. I'm phoning grave. Do I wipe front to back or back to front? I don't wipe at all. I just trust the washing machine. If I have to pay $1.50 to use the washing machine each time, I'm going to throw shit in the washing machine and hope it gets rid of it. Yeah. Actually, yeah, Bima and I used to live in the same dorm in undergrad. And, like, those washing machines, I could never get the, like, card to read on them properly. You know what I mean? Or, like, I guess it was a phone app, right? And, like, I could never get them to tap.
Or like half of them are just non-operational.
Yeah. It was such a pain. And I remember that, like, the way I promised myself that when I moved out, I would go to, like, the construction site nearby, get a bunch of, like, boulders, and just, like, chuck them in the washing machines and turn them on. And just, like, nuke the entire place. I never did it. But I did figure out that, like, if I was really in a bad mood that day and I needed my laundry done, you could unplug the washing machines from the outlet, and you just gotta be careful of the sparks. And then that would unlock the doors. And then you could take someone else's load out, throw your stuff in, throw in a Tide Pod, and then when you plug it back in, like, the machine starts again, and it keeps the, like, memory of the previous cycle. So if you stop it early enough in their load, you get the full benefit of it. It was a great discovery. Play Inscription. It's like $7 right now. I'm on an M1 chip Mac. I can't play any games, unfortunately. Yeah, Jackie says, Jeff, you need to upload on main. I do. I'm telling you, we got a lot of people just in right now, but I have plans. There is a video in the works, It's really like, the script is done, voiceover is done. I just need to draw the frames, and the frames take 4 hours, man. It'll be there at some point. Dash says, Ayo chat, I got a microbiome exam on Monday. I'm cooked. I should really kick you off of the chat so you can go study, Dash. You need to lock in. Yeah. Jeff is a menace on CSC pay. Yeah. Do you ever wear dirty laundry? Not dirty per se. If I know it's dirty, if I can identify it's dirty, I have no reason to wear it, But I mean, like, after I come home and take a shower, I wear the same shirt for the whole week, I guess. It just saves on laundry because I have to pay for it. Grad school microbiome isn't fun. Oh, it's grad school microbiome. Yeah, good luck. You might be cooked, Chun. Yeah. I almost forgot that Tide Pods are, in fact, used for laundry until you said that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tide Pods nowadays are so cheap that, like, everyone just kind of uses them. Like, my parents don't even use, like, liquid detergent at home. They just use Tide Pods. I don't know. I don't really know anyone who uses. I guess like most of my friends are my age, but like who uses liquid detergent. Um, I guess some people use the powder stuff. That stuff is like good value for money, but it's a little bit of a pain to like work on these machines that I have here in my apartment. Go fund me for a PC. I have a PC, James. It's just at home. Actually, I've lent it to a friend to use right now because like I'm just not using it. Um, am I a dirty shirt gamer? I'm a dirty shit gamer. Ultimate life form. It should be drawing streams on stream, drawing games on stream. Maybe. Again, this is all stuff. It'll probably happen like September. I got to get my PC over here. I am doing grad school directly, yes. Yeah. Tiny pods are a delicacy, yeah. Anyways, for those of you who just tuned in, it seems like we got a couple of new people. This is, I'm talking with Bima, and he's one of my friends from undergrad, so if you like what you're hearing in this conversation, you know, be sure to check out his channel. Links in the description. You know, if you want sort of more stuff to edge to or whatever, like you can go and take a look at it. But yeah, check him out, guys. Check him out. Yeah. Always leave my clothes with a. I'm not reading that. Give me muffins. So I'm not reading that. Twin. Twin thinks I'm gonna read that. Hell no. Have there been any bruh moments so far in grad school? That's actually what the like next video is about. It's about like the bruh moments. To keep it short, my department is disintegrating. Like we've lost professors, we've lost students, and like not like they've been killed. I mean that would be kind of par for the course for our school, but like they've just left. And it's a disaster. Might be time to binge your old vids after this. Why? Well, you should give Bima's new vids a try. I'm sorry, I'm like really overselling it. I'm probably doing you a disservice, but like genuinely, it's quite funny. So, you know, give it a chance, guys. Give it a look. Bima, how about you be mine, Jeff? I'll be yours if you sub to Bima. If you can get Bima to 100 subs before the end of the stream, Ultimate Life Form, I'll be yours. Type shit, type ish. Jeff, any baddies at grad school? I'm in the physics department, which means it's 98% men. And then the women seeing all the men hanging out together naturally don't want to hang out with all the men. So, I don't know. They probably exist. They don't exist in my department. It's such a disaster, man. Such a disaster. How many girls are in your PhD track? Yeah, so I think in total, out of a class of like 30-ish kids, maybe there's 5 women. 5? 4 or 5? Give me your muffin, says Bima got 1 video. Get him to drop more vids. He's got another one. Cooking. It's just, you know, today is his sort of channel debut. So, we're, here you go in a little celebratory stream. Yeah. Is Bima in med school, or what is he up to? Oh, fuck, bro.
Nah, Perspective Medical School.
Perspective med.
I'm a master's student in a 1-year program, just doing more bio stuff.
Type-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Squid Game University Edition is basically Jeff's next video. Yeah. Yeah. MSE department got a good female split, so we still have some chance. What's MSE? MLE is maximum likelihood estimator. What's MSE? Material science.
Is that science education?
Oh, science education? Yeah, what is MSE? Give me.
No, you're probably right.
MSE. Yeah. So the physics department is 80% men. Will you switch tides? Oh, switch sides, I guess is what you meant.
Science and engineering. It's science and engineering.
Yeah. Masters of Science and Engineering? What's your reading speed?
I think so.
Perhaps you need to visit the nurses to pull a key.
Yeah,
nurses X physics. I like the thing that's insane is that like I feel like I don't see anyone outside of my cohort. Like I don't see anyone outside of the physics or chemistry departments. Like there's no way to meet these people. There's no sort of like all grad student events. There's like 1 or 2 an entire year. I don't know how people meet them, but presumably there's a way to. I'll figure it out after I'm done with classes. Yeah. Don't think it matters how many bags are in the Jeff's hairline is probably James Garfield tier for being optimistic. Not that I blame him in physics, it's just he's real. I mean, like, dude, have you seen a good physicist that's not like 80% bald? Like, no, you just can't have hair if you're a good physicist.
Einstein.
True, but his hair was super frizzy, so like each of those frizzles like conducted heat away from his head. No physicist has like genuine like flow past like once your physicist is beyond the age of like 30.
Other than like Newton.
Yeah. I mean, but that was a wig, right? Like he could take that off, so it's been different.
I don't actually know what it looked like under.
Yeah. Don't think it mattered. Yeah. Oh, Dash, you're also taking a master's. Sick. Do your classmates know about your content on YouTube? No. None of my grad school friends do. Like I think like 4 or 5 of my undergrad friends do. Bima being one of them. Very few people know about my YouTube content, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I've realized that like it's easier to make content if you think people aren't watching. The only nursing majors I've ever met have been overly negative towards most people, including professors. Do you know any nursing people, Bima? Or like anybody like sort of along that track?
No, not really actually. But I mean, the stereotypes I've heard.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know any stereotypes, honestly. What are the stereotypes? I feel like I just don't interact with that crowd at all.
In stereotypes in like actual real life situations is like adulterous, but like
Oh, no. I told you he was the foremost expert on gooning. Check out Bima, link in description.
no, bro.
Oh my god.
Promiscuous individuals.
Type shit. Type ish.
Type shit.
Yeah.
Type ish. We censoring here. Family friendly.
Yeah, we're family friendly.
Gooning. Talking about gooning.
Talking about gooning. We need a nurses STEM third space so we can pair up with the lonely people. I feel like nurses don't have a problem finding matches. I think it's the STEM people that have a problem finding matches. There's very little to convince them to hang out with us. Disaster and a half. Jeff, has your hairline been pushed back as Jokers from Arkham games? We don't need to answer these questions, okay? We don't need to answer any of these questions. Just know that in high school, my friends used to call me Five Head. Yeah. Let's see. Physics YouTuber called Angela Collier, who is probably one of the more normal physicists. Who is this person? Angela. I mean, clearly, she's quite exceptional if she's a woman in physics. So, genuinely, like, statistical anomaly. I've seen her before. 2-photon absorption. Oldest. When did she start uploading? 3 years ago. I see. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Show me an amnesia. Definitely feels like, yeah. I don't even know. This is a very strange channel. I don't think I've interacted with someone like this before, but that's cool. Seems cool. I don't know. I feel like I'm not a physicist that has access to a lot of different areas of physics. I've sort of broadly given up on keeping track of everything. I'm just interested in my one research area. Boo, answer the question, nerd. Oh, unfortunate. I'm getting tomatoed. Whose hair would you rather have, Oppenheimer or Galileo's? Dude, if I had Galileo hair, I'd be so lit. That'd be great. Someone asked, or Dash asked, between you two, who's the biggest gooner? You are, Dash. You're the biggest gooner for asking that question. Do you or any of the people in your masters go to the gym? I guess, is that directed at Bima? Santiago? I don't know. I do. I try to. I feel like going to the gym is one of the few things that keeps me sane. Yeah. Joseph Rupsa says, or maybe it's a school teacher's ex-STEM because them school teachers need somebody before they start teaching teens. I don't know what that means, but we'll pass your suggestions on to the committee. I'll talk to the grad student committee. Type ish, man. God, my back is killing me, man. My back is so cooked. I can barely sit for I can barely sit for a couple hours without it just cooking me, man. No. They were talking about me, Jeff. I see Ultimate Life Form. I Um, did we run out of talking points already? Oh man, we're cooked. We're cooked. Oh, I think I have a big one from when I like started like story time. I got my backup one. God, my back is so cooked. Mm. Man. It's crazy how far like AI has come in like a year. I remember last year it used to be like the president AI filters, right? And then like before that it was just like there wasn't even anything. And like a year now we have like GPT-4 and like whatever. Like it's just crazy, absolutely crazy that like we've come so far in 1 year. Um, I don't
I
know.
heard 4 or 5 flopped a bit.
What do you say?
I think the new OpenAI model is
Oh
like,
really? I
I
mean,
think
is
it
that
was like
just
anything
because like
crazy, the one that they
DeepSeek
released.
has like cooked it or what?
I think they just didn't add any new features or anything. It's not anything.
I think they're
And I
reaching the
think you can only use it if you pay like the highest subscription.
I think they're reaching the limits of the diffusion model. It's just like you can only do so much with
Yeah.
that architecture. But it seems cool. Seems cool.
In
Um,
general, it's insane. Like the deep fakes and everything is like much better now.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know the twin. I don't know the twin. I don't know the twin. What twin? I
The
wonder
Billy deep fakes.
the Billy deepfakes, bro. I don't know if I've told my audience, but like instead of like I can't get Family Guy, I refuse to pay for like Fox, so I just like I downloaded Billy, and I'm watching Family Guy on Billy now. That's how I get my Family Guy fix. Because there's no copyright. They don't care about fucking copyright. That's great. I guess we got people coming over from Storytime because I made a community post there. But you know, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Portman 5 is just more expensive. Yeah. That makes sense. Do you have any social media for your YouTube channel? I have an Instagram. I used to post there a while ago, but not really. I have a Twitter. That's probably the most active place I am. Does gains contribute to attracting baddies? This is a common myth, right? Going to the gym, when I used to go to the gym when I was big, right? When I was like a relatively strong guy, you know, I was in like the 1,000 Club or whatever. When I entered like college, you know, I could bench like 2 plates, I could squat and like deadlift 3. I never got a compliment from a woman. I only
It
got
attracts
compliments
men,
from
man.
men. Yeah.
Yeah, it attracts men.
Buff, oily men, which was great. I love that. That's so much better than validation from women. But at the same time, you don't actually get any women. I remember, in fact, that like there was one time somebody asked me to work out with her, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I think it was looking back, it was probably like flirting, and I just like I gave her the most brutal like leg routine I could possibly think of. And I had her like first time there, I had her squatting 1 plate, and I was like, come on, hit depth, ass to floor, ass to floor." And then like she didn't talk to me again after that, and I was like, I
Who would have
realized
thought?
like
Who would have
4 years later, I was like, I'm a fucking moron.
thought?
That shit was
Typical
so
shower thought.
funny. What'd you say?
So realize it in the shower.
Yeah. Not
Maybe
even.
she was
That was
flirting with
like
me.
that's like laying awake at 1 a.m. staring at the ceiling and going, "Fuck." Yeah. So I think it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it's worth it. It's worth
I
it.
think I think there is like a correlation with at least being fit though, but
Uh-huh.
it's like a limit of like so big, like you're probably only attracting men.
I think so. I mean, like it's also another thing is that like I don't know. This is kind of like a thing where like maybe women are more qualified to speak on it, but it's like a lot of the things that guys really like work out in the gym, like big chest, big arms, are I feel like aren't particularly important to women. Like that's not what's viewed as attractive. It's like back and abs, and like that's what's like guys want mass. I think girls maybe want a little bit more like lean,
I feel like
right?
girls be liking dudes with ass, bro, and arms too, but ass, bro.
True. I mean, like I can't blame them. I feel
Whatever,
I
whatever
got
the
the same.
correlation is with that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Science behind it.
51 Inky says you are a nonchalant type dude for real, Bima. Type ish. It was raining
For real,
success
for real.
for Jeff, but he brought an umbrella. Yeah, this has happened like on multiple occasions, and like I can't remember how many times it's happened that somebody has like articulated something or another of interest, like some form of interest, and then I go and immediately just like destroy it. Just brain damaged. Jeff would be like, I just learned about period. How could God do this to our women? I'm 6 foot and listen to Claro. Yes.
Hashtag male feminist.
Type ish. Yeah. Jeff is buff. Would have never thought. I'm not buff anymore. I got crippled. Herniated disc. I was squatting without a belt. Squatting 315 without a belt. Heard a little pop. Literally heard a pop, and then my disc came out, and I was like, "Oh, hello, I'm crippled now." So it's been like that for 3 years. Yeah, cooked. Back and buys, chest and tries. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's back, triceps, and abs. That's what you need to work out, I guess. I'm built from the waist down for years of soccer to the point where guys say that I have cake. Pause. Joseph Roop says. I'm cooked. No women have said that. That's so real. That's so real. Maybe you're too intimidating. Maybe you have too much cake. Maybe they feel like you're competing with them. You know, you're encroaching on their territory. Man. Listening to this war footage in the background is wild. Do we want to change the scenery again? Do we want to let's take a poll. Let's take a poll for where we want to go next. Where do we want to go? Bima, you got any ideas? Let's do another poll. Actually,
gotta be real world.
People. I'll ask people. Where do you want to go? I got maybe another half hour left in me. I need to go get a haircut, bruh. Okay. Questions. There we go. All right. So we'll pull it up later. I've never been to the gym. Should I go? Yeah. I think honestly, the problem is weights at this age are a lot more appealing. I think a lot of people find lifting weights to be more interesting, and I can kind of see why. But what you want to do in your 20s, right, is cardio. You can build muscle all the way until you're 60. Your cardio system, the development, a lot of the most substantial development, or the period of most substantial development occurs in your teens to 20s. And then by 30, it becomes exponentially harder to sort of keep it pushing. So I think it's a good idea to do cardio if you go to the gym more than anything. Just run, cycle, row, swim, do whatever you need to do. But you should do cardio. Jeff put on Chris Griffin Family Guy moments. I'm not doing that. Thank you for the input, though, some guy on the internet. That's why I watch to fall asleep. I don't need that during my regular day-to-day. Yeah. When I tried bicep curling the 22.5 pound weights for the first time, I nearly dropped it and had to catch it with both hands. Yeah, I mean, yeah, type-ish. Lippin Cubs in the background. 12-hour Portal radio with a surprise in it somewhere. Going back to Epstein's Island, did I ever stream on Epstein's Island? I forget. Okay, the answers I have so far are Jeff's Goon Cave, Gulag, Rural Michigan, and Gym. Thank you, gym person. Everyone else, you're banned from my chat. Oh my god. What a disaster. I don't know. I feel like the
if
gym,
you do just start in the gym, though.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. You should try and throw your ego out the door, though. You don't want to end up like Jeff.
Oh, 100%. Not even ego. Just there gets to a point where the weights just don't do the weights. When I put 315 on my back, I would feel myself blacking out. I'd feel the pressure compressing my spine.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
You just had to do it for the vine, though. You have to do it for the vine,
Yeah. And it's just God, it really is something that bench one plate, squat one plate, or just do machines. Honestly, if you're starting at the gym, don't do free weights. Just do machines. You're so much less likely to hurt yourself on a machine.
And the strength curve is better because it's the gravity isn't. The machine is built so that it's not only the gravity that is affecting a bicep curl with you know what I mean, a bicep curl with
for sure. You get activation throughout the entire range of motion. It's good.
Yeah, the eccentric and concentric.
Yeah. You definitely use machines. If you're starting, use machines if you have access to them. If you don't have access to them, of course, do free weights or calisthenics. Do push-ups and stuff. It's a good way to start.
Easiest one.
Yeah. How many reps did you used to do 315 for? I think my squat max was maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 360, 370. So I could do 3 reps of 315, 2-3 reps. I was doing 315. I think I was trying to hit a 3 rep on 315, and then like on the bottom of my second, I just heard it pop out. So, getting up after high volume leg press feels like I've unlocked a new muscle. And then you wake up the next day and you can't walk, man. Like, yeah, that's how it goes.
You sit on the toilet.
What'd you say? Yeah, sitting on the toilet, man. Dude, oh, my legs would be shaking
Yeah,
trying to get up from that shit.
Yeah,
That
sit
is
on the toilet,
horrible.
bro.
You sit down, you never get up again, man. Fucking Michael Jackson's death, bro. That's how it happened. He had leg day and just couldn't get off the shitter. There used to be a VHS dating service where you could record a video and the ladies would pick the guy or the guys would pick the lady back in the 80s or 90s. That's pretty wild. That's like pre-Tinder. That's pretty creative, though. I feel like... What kind of person...
Pop the balloon.
What'd you say?
Pop the balloon.
Pop the balloon. Ramen Bucket's basement.
Some modern.
Chernobyl Reactor 4. I like Chernobyl Reactor 4. We're going to Chernobyl Reactor 4.
The elephant foot.
Yeah. Joseph Rupsis. We're going to Elephant Foot. Let's see. Images. Are there any high quality images? Probably not, because like everything would be cooked by the time you got over there. Elephant Foot. All right. Type ish. Let's get it switched out. Quandale properties. Browse. All right. Now, these sounds are no longer appropriate, clearly. I actually, no, these sound about right. I mean, they're still in a war, but, like, we're gonna... Here we go. This is maybe a little bit closer to what you'd actually hear. All right. Thank you very much for participating. Good stuff. Good stuff. Windo Ramen this stream. Ramen's just busy. There's no particular reason. Ramen's just busy today. Also, like, this is, you know, Bima's channel preview. I wanted to give him a little shout out, so, you know, be sure to check him out. Free weight FUDs unite. Yeah. Hack squats or vert leg press. I don't know. I forget the difference. I can't really do legs anymore with my back injury, so hack squats.
Hack squats like the
Oh,
somewhat vertical.
we didn't
like,
have those,
slants.
man. That feels like a new thing. Have you used a hat?
I have not like commercial gyms.
Yeah.
I've used them before.
I just use regular leg presses, man.
Pretty good.
No vertical stuff. I think I leg pressed 1,000 pounds at some point.
Yeah, it's honestly easier.
Yeah. Rolling off the toilet like an armadillo. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Is the mold fungus still on the elephant's foot? I don't think that's mold or fungus. I think that's just like... It's just cancer. It's genuinely cancer.
Type shit.
Tight-ish.
Shit.
Yeah. We're so cooked. God. I honestly, one of the things I wanted to do in high school was go to fucking Chernobyl, man. I really wanted to visit Chernobyl. Like, just tour the outside of the sarcophagus and, like, go up and down the river. Like, dude, I wanted to do it so badly. Because, you think about it, it's, like, one of the most extreme places on Earth. Like, oh, it would have been so cool, and then the war started. And it's like,
There was, like, a Geiger counter.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like such a stupid, like, first world complaint. Like, oh, I can't go to Chernobyl. I mean, like, yeah, obviously Ukrainian people are dying, but it's just, like, something of interest. You know, I wanted to go to Chernobyl. I wanted to go to, what's the other place? There are a couple of places. There's a whole book called
Fukushima.
Like, Fukushima's been cleaned up nicely, though. I kind of want to go to, like, an actual disaster.
Yeah, they did, right?
Yeah, what's it called? There's,
An actual disaster.
what is it? Guide to Sunny Chernobyl or something. It was a great book I read in high school. How to visit Sunny Chernobyl and Other Adventures in the Most Polluted Places. That was a nice little book. I don't know what that guy's up to these days, but he seemed chill. I think it was some sort of social commentary and like how like bad these places were. Instead, I was just like, oh, that's sick. I need to go to Chernobyl. It seems fun. 3 Mile Island. Is 3 Mile Island still a disaster zone? I wonder. Isn't 3 Mile Island the thing from that like Eminem film, Bima?
8 Mile?
Oh, it's 8 Mile. Why the fuck were they all called Mile? Like, there's no creativity whatsoever. How long is the island? 3 miles. Oh, it must be 3 Mile Island. That shit lame as hell. Oh my god. Which one is it? 3 Mile Island, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So we're going to the one in Pennsylvania. I'm on Google Maps right now. We're gonna see if there's anything interesting there. If there's not, then like, who cares? Oh no, 3 Mile Island's been cleaned up, man. It looks nice. It just looks like a regular nuclear power plant. There's no sort of evidence that there was a disaster there. I mean, Chernobyl's interesting because, like, the disaster still exists. You know, you can still kind of, like, you know, you can see the remnants of it. You can see the sarcophagus in which everything's inside, but, yeah, not so much for 3 Mile Island. Rip. Rorden Gramsey, thank you. Thank you for showing up to our chat. We have a celebrity in our chat. Type-ish. Why the long break? Long break, nothing in particular, just grad school's been really busy. I have to take classes again as a grad student, so it's like, it's just kind of cooked, you know. Too busy to do stuff these days. Unit 2 is disaster area. Unit 1 was shut down, but still restarting from Microsoft AI stuff. Oh, I see, I see. I love their, oh man. There was like that tweet that Google had where they were like starting, like, they're getting some like nuclear reactors for AI stuff, and then someone like quoted, what was it? The Google like description of what CP3 meant for like the basketball player. It said child, like, you know, whatever 3. it was funny as hell. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Chernobyl being turned into Warzone is really ironic. We've literally just recreated Stalker. It's the Stalker franchise all over again. What's crazier is somebody has like there is literally a 3 hours of Geiger counter sounds, radiation detector Chernobyl immersive soundscape, like video on YouTube. I could just find that. Everything exists on YouTube. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Man. Type-ish. Type-ish. Oh. I don't know. Is there anything anywhere like that you'd want to go, Bima? Somewhere that's like most people probably wouldn't think of it as a tourist location, but you still find like to be somewhat interesting.
I'm kind of in the same boat with Chernobyl, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about it because I kind of want to do something like this summer. It'll kind of be my last like free summer, so I like low-key want to go. I want to go to like Eastern Europe, like not like near the war zone, but like Central Eastern Europe. So there's not like a lot of tourists. It might be interesting, you know. I don't know. I want to go like Germany
Balkans?
and like.
Or like.
No, not the Balkans.
Oh, okay,
I like Poland or something, right? Or like Romania. Maybe like Croatia at a stretch, or like Serbia or something. Shout out to Serbia. But like that's probably it. Everywhere else I feel like is too touristy. I'd want to go to South America as well, but that feels like super touristy during the summer, so not really so interested in that. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows?
Oh.
What the fuck going on, bruh? Outlook outage. Dude, every single, like, major, like, internet service has been out for the last, like, week. Outlook was down, Skype is being shut down, and then, like, Slack was down last week as well, because I couldn't access my lab Slack. So weird, man. So weird. I don't know what's going on, man. World's falling apart. Syria isn't too touristy.
It shows you what we're.
Jeff, you should travel to Syria. Syria isn't too touristy. I wonder why. Jeff, go to Iraq. No, I'm not being deployed. I survived 4 deployments. By the end of the summer, I would have survived 5 deployments at my university, which is already a war zone. I don't need to go to an actual war zone. All right, it's okay. It's okay.
Tour.
Yo, Poland mentioned. Come to Poland. We have a lot of femboys here. No.
Oh my god, the Poland femboys.
Kurwa. Oh my god. Balkan rage. Balkan rage. I need to experience Balkan rage. I need to break it down. I need to understand Balkan rage. Assad ousted. Syria has fallen. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Syria might not be a great place to visit right now, but I bet after, Assad leaving, like, the tickets gotta be cheap as hell right now. Like, it's gotta be so cheap to get over there. Unless there's like a state order that you can't go over there. I don't know, man. Go to Afghanistan. You guys just want me killed, don't you? Or is that like how badly you guys want content? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Oh my god. What a disaster. Oh, I'm on Twitter. Ignore that. I don't know what's going on, twin. I don't know what's going on, twin. I got a collab. Like, someone requested a collab with me, and I'll read you the collab. This is this email that was in my spam box. It's insane. It's by Henry Zunn. Dear, comma, no story time, just dear. I hope you're doing well. We are TCL, the manufacturer of the 52-inch ceiling fan with light, and we are really impressed with your content. Your style aligns perfectly with the look and feel of our product, and we'd love to collaborate with you. What do they mean by that? We're inviting you to create a promotional video showcasing our ceiling fan. We'd ask that the fan be installed on your ceiling, presenting a clean aesthetic setting that highlights the product in a real-life environment. If you're interested, we'd be happy to send you a free sample of our product to feature in your content. What does this mean, bro? They want me to look... I can get free ceiling fans? Like, I should just say yes, and then, like, not actually, like, make a video on it. And be just like, oh, the ceiling fan was kind of ass, twin. I don't want to make a video on it. Like, I don't know, bro. Yeah, go to Turkey. We need to reconquer Constantinople. I want to go to Turkey, but Turkey's a little bit far for, like, Turkey doesn't fit in with, like, I couldn't go to, like, Turkey from anywhere else. Like, Turkey would be, like, a trip in and of itself. So, for, like, a summer trip, I kind of want to, like, hit some, like, countries that I can sort of, like, chain together. Come to Armenia. Maybe I'll go to Armenia. I don't know. It'd be great. These are the kind of places I need to think of. What was it? Did I say Armenia #1? What's the country that has, like, the eagle on? Albania #1. That's what it was.
That's Albania.
Yeah,
That's Albania.
#1. Yeah. Man, God. Content about the stories in the Middle East would actually be so damn gas. Yeah, it would be. I mean, like, for the content, if I get bigger, so if I hit, like, 500K, 250K, right, maybe I can make it a justification. I can make it a tax-deductible thing, right? I can say it's a business expense to go to these places, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It's not too bad. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's so sad. I need to say, no worries. Next time. Come to Nebraska. I'm not going to Nebraska. It's either send me to Syria where I'm shot to death, or send me to Nebraska where I'm bored to death and eaten by a moose. Like, oh my god. How that is a scam. Don't download the PDF. Oh, really? Scam or a shitpost? I did not know. Wow. That's why it was in my spam folder. Okay. That's good. I clicked on the image, but I didn't download it. So I guess that's fine. Viewing it in the browser's fine. But that's wild. Okay, well, block Henry's on. That's crazy. I didn't open the link either, so I guess we'll probably be okay. Wild. Middle East time with Jeff. Deployed to the Middle East with Jeff. Honestly, if we go World War III, if there's a World War III and I get enlisted, like, I 100% will be live streaming the whole thing. Fuck, like, you know, whatever. Fuck operational security. I'll be live streaming the whole thing. I'll be a tanker or something, you know. Or maybe not. I'll probably fly, like, tanker planes or something, and I'll just, like, stream that. That'd be fun. PDFs are how Linus Tech Tips got hacked. Yeah. No PDFs. I've looked into PDF encoding. It's really, it seems like it could be pretty sinister. Like, it sticks.
JavaScript, yeah. They can put JavaScript in PDFs.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
Crazy.
Dash says, go to Turkey and get a hair transplant to fix that hairline. Thin ice, my buddy. Thin ice. I really should block you. They won't even let me click on it. Oh, well, that's okay. Jeff, come down to Florida. I'll give you a good time. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that. Visit Illinois. O-Block is nice this time of year. Taco Bell time with Jeff, followed by Middle East time with Jeff. This stream is wild. Yeah. It's a good stream, chat. It's a good stream. Yeah, it really has been, honestly. I appreciate you guys stopping by. There's been quite a lot of people this stream, so it's been fun chatting with you guys. Yeah. I don't know. We'll give it another, like, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll probably head out. I gotta, like, go get a haircut, so Too bad I obtain ebooks in odd ways. No, I don't. I mean, you just go on LibGen, right? Like, I just go on LibGen and pirate all my stuff from there. You know damn well if you'd be working for Raytheon if World War III was happening, yes, but like, wouldn't it cool to be deployed on like a stealth bomber or something, where you could just like watch the fireworks and not be involved? I don't know. What would you do in World War III, Bima? What would you end up doing? Jeff can
Um,
shoot North Korea. I don't know.
it is some sort of, I don't know, some sort of research on the back end. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be like a medical person on the front. That'd be absurd.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially with like all the unmanned stuff nowadays. Like, there's no like,
Oh yeah, you could be like piloting a drone in
probably get
Arizona,
cooked.
like halfway around the world. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I'm not saying I'm going to be a drone pilot. No, 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 no.
Fair enough. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Hold up. Somebody's calling me. Give me a sec. I gotta. How the fuck do I mute? All right, I'm just gonna go into the other room. I'm not gonna figure it out, and you guys are gonna hear me piss again. Yo, what's up? Oh, really? That sounds good. Yeah, I'll put the Dick right now, and we'll have this soon. All right, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you when to get over there. All right. See you, man. Peace. All right, that was my federal agent handler calling me and telling me that I needed to go and report to the Washington D.C. office to report on my un-American activities. Unfortunately, they found my jerkbait competitive account, and I'm banned from gooning on
Oh,
government
nah.
property. So we're all cooked, chat.
And they were
Piss
saying
Jeff
Space Force or
returned.
something. I feel like what do they even do?
Space Force, mostly satellites. They
Aren't
manage
they aren't they
satellites.
new?
And then they do launches. So a lot of, I think I worked on Space Force missions. I sent a satellite up as part of a Space Force mission. And it's just like they do all of the launches. So all of like the DoD research that happens in space, Space Force manages that. That and then like they also handle cybersecurity and like, yeah, more or less. That and then there's the X-37B program, which is our like mini space shuttle program that's like super top secret. And there's not really any details about it, but Space Force also manages that. Yeah. Did I get the Doge email? No, I'm not actually a federal contractor. I just kind of LARP as one. Uh, yeah. Satellites and missile defense. Yeah, that sounds about right. That used to be like the purvey of like Air Force, and so they got a little bit leech off of that. Navy used to also have some satellite stuff. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it here. Unfortunately, I kind of gotta go and like get a haircut. Gotta get my shit lined up so I can go and fumble more baddies. But it's been a good stream, chat. Thank you all for tuning in, and be sure to check out Bima's channel. It's linked in the description. Will be linked in the description even after the video ends. And thanks to Bima for tuning in, for joining us today. I'm sure I'll be
Show
back
love.
in the future.
Yes, sir.
Type ish.
Serious, sir.
See you guys.